Oh, here we go. Oh, yeah. Okay. Hello, hello. It's that time. All right, let me go ahead and do some promotion. All right. Do. Hello, welcome in. Hello, hello, welcome in. Just setting up real quick. Link in the live stream here and there. Welcome in. We got the joint address to Congress happening here soon. We're going to cover it when Dieter gets done with his DSA meeting, and we're going to cover it together. In the meantime, I'm probably going to discuss the Zelensky meeting and maybe his appearance on Brett Baer as well, just to see what he had to say there. Okay, say hi, hello. All right, let me take a look and see what the best thing to watch the. Okay, I can just rewind it. Okay, well that's good. All right, sweet. Okay, we'll just leave it there. Actually, we'll do this. Okay, do that. There you go. Okay, yes, on with it. All right. Zelensky, Trump conference. Oh, it's pretty long. Oh, we can speed through it. Oh, I mean, I can just watch it through here. All right. You ready for the shit show?
Zelensky of Ukraine, and we've been working very hard, very close. So we've actually known each other for a long time. We've been dealing with each other for a long time and very well. We
work?
had a little
We'll do that.
negotiation spat, but that worked out great. I think for both countries, I think for the world, actually, beyond both countries. And we have something that is a very fair deal. And we look forward to getting in and digging. And
I've heard that this
getting
is
some of
just
the
like
rare earth. But it means we're going to be
beyond
inside, and
disgraceful.
it's a big commitment from the United States, and we appreciate working with you very much. And we will continue to do that. We have had some very good discussions.
Will you? um. All right. Oh yeah, you got a post here too. What a nightmare, right?
With Russia. I spoke with President Putin, and we're going to try and bring this to a close. It's something that you want and that he wants. We have to negotiate a deal, but we've started the confines of a deal, and I think something can happen. The big thing is the number of soldiers, mostly at this point, but soldiers being killed. They're losing thousands of soldiers on both sides. We're losing a lot of soldiers, and we want to see it stop. And we want to see the money get put to different kinds of use, like rebuilding. And we're going to be working very hard. But we've had a lot of very good conversations. I will say, until we came along, the Biden administration didn't speak to Russia whatsoever. They didn't speak to anybody. They just allowed this to continue.
I mean, why?
And
Russia for the entire time, the entire war has signal that it's their way or the highway. They're not approaching the conflict in good faith. They don't care about diplomatic means to end the war. They want their territory. They want Ukraine to surrender. It's been this way the whole time. But of course, what does Trump care about that? He's buddies with Putin.
I will say that I'll say in front of you, you've heard me say it 1,000 times. If I were president, this war would have never happened. We would have had a deal negotiated for you without having to.
And this is a lie that he keeps on fucking telling. And I want everybody. In fact, I'll look it up right now. The Kerch Strait incident. Kerch Strait. Yeah. So check this out. All right. This is something I think a lot more people need to know about. So the Kerch Strait incident was an international incident that occurred on 25th November 2018. Who was president at that time? Keep in mind. In the Kerch Strait, during which the Russian Federal Security Service, FSB, Coast Guard fired upon and captured 3 Ukrainian Navy vessels after they attempted to transit from the Black Sea into the Sea of Azov. Just click on here, through the strait on the way to the port of Mariupol. It was the first time that Russian forces had openly engaged Ukrainian forces during the Russo-Ukrainian War. And of course, gets a bit more into the history. But what did Trump do about that? Let's see. Oh, nothing. Oh, he canceled Trump canceled the planned meeting with the president of Russia, Vladimir Putin, during the G20 summit in Argentina, claiming that the sole reason was the situation with Ukrainian ships and sailors. Well, why did that happen under your watch, though, Trump? All right, back to the shit show.
Go through what you've gone through. But your soldiers have been unbelievably brave. We've given them great equipment, but somebody has to use the equipment. They've been unbelievably brave, and we give them great credit. This was supposed to be over very quickly, and here we are 3 years later. So I give tremendous credit to your generals and your soldiers and yourself in the sense that
sorry if the audio is weird.
Very hard fighting, very tough fighting. They're great fighters, and you have to be very proud of them from that standpoint. But now we want to get it over with. It's enough, right? We want to get it over with. So it's an honor to have you here. Thank you very much for coming. We're going to sign the agreement at the conference in the East Room in a little while, right after lunch. And we'll be having lunch together. We're also discussing some other things. And we appreciate everybody being here. It's somewhat of an exciting moment, but the really exciting moment is when they stop the shooting and we end up with the deal. And I think we're fairly close to getting that. And an honor to have you. And please, I'd like to say something.
No, thanks so much, Mr. President. Thank you for the invitation. And really, I hope that this first document will be a first step to real security guarantees for Ukraine, our people, our children. I really count on it. And of course, we count that America will not stop support. Really, for us, it's very important to support and to continue it. I want to discuss it with details further during our conversation. And of course, the infrastructure of security guarantees. Because for today, I understand what Europe is ready to do. And of course, I want to discuss with you what the United States will be ready to do. And I really count on your strong position to stop Putin. And you said that enough with the war. I think that's very important.
Yeah. Oh my God.
To say these words to Putin at the very beginning of war, because he's a killer and terrorist. But I hope that together we can stop him. But for us, it's very important to save our country, our values, our freedom, and democracy, and of course, no compromises with the killer about our territories. But it will be later. And of course, what I wanted, we spoke about it by phone with you about the drones production. We have very good drones production. I think the best one in the world for today because of the war. Yes.
So far, no objections to anything he's saying at all.
Of course, we need very much the air defense. You have the best air defense in the world, and really you help us under attacks of Russians. And I want to speak how we can exchange the licenses. We're open to share the licenses of all our drones with you, of course, with the United States. And we need licenses for quick production of air defense. Even after the war, we need our nation to be calm, that we are secure. So that's why we need this air shield. And of course, about this, I want to speak about the contingents. I think that France and UK already spoke to you. And we know that Europe is ready, but without the United States, they will not be ready to be as strong as we need. And the last point, last not least, about exchange, about our people and children. And you know that this crazy Russian, that they stole 20,000 of children.
Ukraine. Yeah, this administration is so keen on all these missing children and whatnot, and putting children first. But I I don't think I've heard anyone in Trump's orbit or anyone on the Republican side even talk about like the tens of thousands of kidnappings done by Russia that has happened over the course of the war.
Children, they changed their names. They changed their,
Trump
their
walking in.
families, relatives.
We're gonna be covering it once Deether is done, so maybe like half an hour, and then we'll get to it. That way we can like watch through it like at like 1.25 speed or whatever. But yeah, I told Deether that I'd wait for him so we can cover it together. So I'm just gonna do this for the time being.
And now they're in Russia. We want to bring them back. And really,
I haven't seen this full thing yet.
Goal for me and our warriors. By the way, Mr. President, we exchanged with yesterday's more than 4,000 warriors from Russian prison, but there are thousands more in the prison. I wanted to share with you some images. How it's I've just can I now?
Yeah, please.
Some minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. Just you to understand in what circumstances, in what situation they are, and what the attitude of Russia to our prisoners. That guys, just you before and after. And you see before and after, just you to understand. Now thousands of such guys, ladies and men, they're
He came prepared.
So they don't eat, they beat them, and they it's a lot of bad things. So out of even during the war, there are rules.
Hey, that's what I expect. I just want to see where it goes off the
they don't
rails.
have any rules. You see that 50, 60 kilograms left, and a lot of such things. And I didn't want to show you what the changes with images of children, because I will share with you. And I mean, it's looking tragic.
Yep, that's tough stuff.
Yeah, I wanted very much to give you.
Yeah, you're right, Megan. He should have gotten the translator. It would have been a lot easier for him. But like, so far so good. Like nothing objectionable, and like he's just showing like how can you support what they're doing to our people? You know.
Yeah.
This is pastor, by the way.
From
They stolen
taking
pastors
Vodium.
because it's not Russian church. They stolen pastors and moved pastors to the prison. We at the end of last year we brought 3 pastors, and we could exchange them. And this is pastor, you see.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, so I mean, this I wanted to show you, and this. So thank you very much.
We want to get that entered, right?
Yeah, of course, we
And I
will.
think we will. And
We have to, of course.
you have any questions, please?
Yeah, so I told Deether I'd wait for him. He's at he's in a DSA meeting right now, so we're not going to be covering the State of the Union live per se. We'll be a little bit behind, but we're still gonna be covering it.
Thank you, Mr. President. With the how much money is the U.S. going to put into the fund that is being created today, and how does this provide long-term security for Ukraine?
Well, we don't know exactly
Well, I
how
just
much,
wanted
because
to
we're going to be putting some money in a fund that we're going to get from
In case
the
that
war,
wasn't
that
clear.
we're going to be taking and sharing in terms of revenue. So it's going to be a lot of money will be made from the sale and from the use of raw earth. And as you know, our country doesn't have much raw earth. We have a lot of oil and gas, but
Lame.
we don't have a lot of the raw earth. And what we do have is protected by the environmentalists, but that can be unprotected. But still, it's not very much. They have among the best in the world in terms of raw earth. So we're going to be using that, using it for all of the things we do, including AI and including weapons and the military. And it's really going to very much satisfy our needs. So it's something that just worked out really well. We have a lot of oil, we have a lot of gas, we have a lot, but we don't have raw earth. So this has just about every component of the raw earth that we need for computers, for all of the things we do. This puts us in great shape.
And long-term security for Ukraine.
I think they're going to have. I think once we make the agreement, that's going to be 95% of it. They're not going to go back to fighting. I've spoken with President Putin, and I feel very strong. I've known him for a long time, and I feel very strongly that they're very serious about it. And we'll make a deal. And when the deal is made, I don't think we talk about security. Everyone's talking about the other day. All they talked about was security. I said, let me make the deal first. I have to make the deal first. I don't worry about security right now. We have to have a deal. Because right now, last week, 2,000 soldiers died on both sides. 2,000.
You just want the deal, but you don't want to guarantee security. You you just want control. Like you can't guarantee security because that's going to upset Russia. You don't want to upset Putin.
And they're losing 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 a week. So as we sit here and we talk, people are getting shot and dying on the battlefield. And they're not American soldiers, but they're Russian soldiers and they're Ukrainian soldiers, and we want to be able to stop it. And we want to be able also to spend money on other things. We don't want to. This is a tremendous amount of money, and what the Biden administration did was terrible. They were giving money, but they had no security on the money. Europe, as you know, did much less money, but they had security. It was in the form of a loan. They get their money back, and we didn't. And now,
No,
at least we're
that was literally a lie. Like the French fucking president literally told you, like, no, we paid them. We paid Ukraine. Like you're full of shit.
because the American taxpayer has to be protected too. But this is an incredible agreement for Ukraine because we have a big investment in their country now, and what they have, very few people have. And we're able to really go forward with very, very high-tech things and many other things, including weaponry that we're going to use in many locations, but that we need for our country.
Mr. President,
This allows us to do that. Yes, go ahead, please.
If I can just, yes, in the document, there is one of the very important points. If we speak about business and investment, we know had LNG terminals in Ukraine. This document will open. I mean, the next document, but anyway, here we see in the framework, we see a really good deal for this. LNG terminals for us is very important, and I think for security of European continent. We have the biggest storage, gas storage. We have the biggest in Europe. Yes, and we can use it. Use it for LNG. Use it for LNG, and we will do it. And really, we can help Europe because Europe really helped. President Trump said that they made less support, but they are our friends and they are our very supportive partners. They really gave a lot, Mr. President. They did.
But they gave much less.
No.
So if you've purchased a
Oh my
faulty
God.
car in California and won a huge check like I've got here,
Shut up.
here's
Much less.
No. No. Okay.
Mr. President Trump, you have repeatedly called the deal with Ukraine.
I mean, and Trump doesn't understand. Like, of course, like it's going to come off that Europe overall contributes less because they don't have the GDP like we do.
As a historical one.
Individual European countries, that is.
And as a president of the United States, you make historical decisions in other issues which affect America and other world. So what place in the world history do you want to take? And do you associate yourself with any famous historical figures?
I'd say George Washington, Abraham Lincoln. I would say I'm far superior to George Washington and Abraham Lincoln.
Oh
And
my
I'm
God.
only kidding, right? Because when I say that, the fake news is going to go wild. They're going to say he considers himself to be better than Washington, but you never know. You never know. I don't compare myself to anybody. I just have.
Yeah, I think he was actually ranked as like the worst president in history by it was like an association of like historians or something like that, like presidential historians who have like multiple metrics on how to determine how good or how bad a president is, and I believe he was just ranked fucking dead last. I'll have to find it. It's pretty wild, but we're gonna continue this.
I'm here to do a job. We've had a great 35 days or whatever it might be, a month, a little more than a month. We've accomplished tremendous amounts. Not only this would be a very great achievement if we could get the war stopped and get them back to normalization. I think that's going to happen. We've had very good talks on both sides, as you know. But
Turn off your
I think
phone.
we've done a very good job. Just generally, if you look at all of the things we've done in 30 days, they're saying there's never been a opening for a president. The first month, there's never been a first month like we've had. And this is one of the very important things. This to me is one of the most important things because we have tremendous death taking place as we speak. And I don't want to have that. Think of the parents. Think of whether they're in Russia or Ukraine. Think of the parents of all these people being killed needlessly.
They came to our territory.
Should have never started. This would, if I were president, this would have never started.
Will you continue sending military aid to Ukraine after the U.S. signs this agreement with Ukraine?
Yeah, we're
The
going to
question to
continue.
President Zelensky: do you feel like the U.S. is on your side? That the President Trump is on your side at this moment?
What do you think?
He wants to know, do you think that, sort of a stupid question. I guess we wouldn't be here if I wasn't.
I think that the United States on our side from the very beginning of occupation, and I think that President Trump on our side, and of course, I'm sure that the United States president will not stop support. This is crucial for us. It's important for us. Yes, and Putin, the president, speaks about the people and the soldiers which are dying, but they came to our territory. They came to our land. They began this war, and they have to stop. And I think this is the question, with really the most important question: can President Trump, I hope yes,
He's right.
with some other allies, to stop Putin withdraw these enemies, our enemy, withdraw these troops from our land? And I think that you asked about the history. I think that if President or when he will stop Putin, if President Trump will bring peace to our country, I think he will be on this wall.
We've had very, very good talks.
President Zelensky just said there would be no compromise.
Yeah, a little awkward, I bet. I mean, so far so good. I just want to know what sets Trump off, like specifically, you know.
With, I just wanted to ask both of you. Firstly, are there compromises that you think that President Zelensky is going to have to make? President Zelensky, is there anything that you might be thinking you may be able to?
No, yeah.
For example,
I mean,
I think you're going to have to always make
pretty
compromises.
much. I don't think
Any
either
deal's
one
gonna
of
have
them really
compromises.
wants to
Certainly it's gonna
be
have make some
here.
compromises, but hopefully they won't be as big as some people think you're going to have to make. That's all we can do. I'm here as an arbitrator, as a mediator to a certain extent between two parties that have been very hostile. To put it mildly, they've been very hostile. This has been a vicious war. This has been a vicious war. It's a very level battlefield, and those bullets go out. And as I've said many times, we're talking about it with Pete. Many times, the only thing stopping those bullets is a human body. And in the case we're talking about, generally young human bodies are stopping a lot of bullets. It's dead level. That's why it's great farmland. It's great land. It's great farmland, but there's very little protection against the bullets that are being and other things that are being shot. So all I can do is say,
I mean, the thing is, like, there's rarely ever a moment where Trump isn't acting like a fucking children, like a child. Excuse me, but I don't know, with Zelensky, like what you told me about, like the language barrier and um, idioms, you know, cultural significance of where he comes from and how they communicate. It's vastly different, and it's gonna become more apparent because I've seen the most viral clips from this. But yeah, it could have gone so much better.
I can get everybody at the table and get an agreement. I think we're going to end up with an agreement. Otherwise, I wouldn't probably be even here today.
Mr. President, I got two questions for you. You think ultimately your legacy will be the peacemaker and not the
He's
president
watching
that
real
led this
speed.
country into another war and ended foreign wars?
Do I
I
have
hope it
to?
will. I mean, I hope I'm going to be remembered as
And since when is it really lit?
a peacemaker. This would be a great thing if we could do this. I'm doing this to save lives more than anything else. Second, is to save
If it's that lit, then you would watch for us. Then you watch us cover it once Dieter gets here.
a lot of money, but I consider that to be far less important. So I hope I'm going to thank you, Brian, for that question. It was a nice question. I hope I'll be known and recognized as a peacemaker. This would be a great thing to solve. This is a very dangerous situation. You know, this could lead to a third world war. This was headed in the wrong direction. If this election were lost, and we didn't win this election, and by the way, we won it by a lot. That was a mandate. We won every swing state. We won the popular vote by millions and millions of votes. We won everything.
Millions, like literally. I'm so tired of bringing this fucking shit up. Oh my god. He needs you to believe it was millions and millions of votes. It was 2.3 million votes. It's a 1.5% fucking difference.
The districts, if you look at the areas of red, take a look at a map. This was a big mandate, and this was one of the things I said we're going to get this thing settled. If we didn't win, I think this could have very well ended up in a third world war, and that would not have been a good situation. What was your second
My
question?
second question for President Zelensky. Why don't you wear a suit? Why don't you wear a suit? You're the highest level in this country's office, and you refuse
Who
to wear a
gives
suit.
a fuck?
You just want to see, you own a suit?
Yeah, problems.
A lot of Americans have problems with you not
Really?
respecting
I
the
don't have
dignity of this office.
I will wear a costume after this war will finish.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe,
Wear a
maybe something like yours. Yeah.
costume, yeah. Wear one like yours.
Maybe something better. I don't know. We will see. Maybe something cheaper. But yeah, thank you.
that's okay. That's actually hella funny. I mean, for one, it probably is that language thing, the idiom thing, where like he doesn't really know the difference between suit and costume, and so like they're interchangeable to him. So it's like, but yeah, one of my favorite memes about this moment is like Zelensky's just sitting here and he's just surrounded by a bunch of clowns, and then one of them asks, "Why don't you have a clown nose?"
Are you going to send more arms to Ukraine in peace? There's no peace.
Yeah, we're going to have arms to Ukraine. Yeah, sure. Hopefully, I won't have to send very much because hopefully we're going to have it finished.
All right. We'll get back to this. Dieter's getting in touch with me. Hello. Hey, can you
Hey
hear
man,
me?
how are you?
I'm good. You are on my screen now. Let me go ahead and I guess shift this around.
What's
you
going on?
said-
What's with the backgrounds? They changed the backgrounds on StreamYard.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I don't have my. I don't think I have my. Well, whatever. We don't need to bore our audience with some tech issues. But how you doing? What have you been talking about? You talking about this Zelensky meeting?
Yeah. I mean, they did their like intro and now they're answering questions and whatnot. It hasn't completely gone off the rails yet, but have you gone live yet?
No, not yet. If you can go into my StreamYard and then I can
Yeah.
go live, and then we
Let-
can just
let-
do a dual action.
Sure. Yeah, and we'll just like do like a restart of the thing, and if you want, I can you can have it so that it's showing
It's
my
weird. I
StreamYard.
should be able to stream from yours too. It's so strange. I don't know.
Yes,
How to do it,
if you do like the share screen thing and then just click on my StreamYard, you'll be able to do that. Do it that way.
share screen.
Yeah.
Do you want me to go live?
Let me
No,
go
you gotta
ahead.
get in. You gotta get into mine.
Yes. Let me get into yours real quick.
Okay. Yeah, there you are.
There I am.
So weird that we have the. I don't know why this background isn't there.
Oh yeah, yours is different. That's weird. Mine's the same.
Whatever. I'm just gonna go live. Here we go. You ready?
Yes.
Hello and welcome to Left Coast Live. It is Tuesday, March 4th. Happy Exolano Day for all my Raxbury Latin brothers and sisters. It's actually just brothers because it was an all-guys high school. And we are joined, as always, by StatPat Stateless Patriot. How are you, my man?
I mean, not too bad, honestly. I'm a little upset that our iconic background isn't here, but gotta work with what you got, I suppose.
Yeah, I'll be able to. I'm gonna mess around with it and be able to figure it out here in a minute.
For sure.
I don't know, whatever. It's okay if we just go black for tonight.
Right. Yeah. Let's go ahead and I guess we'll go. He's talking right now. He's doing the joint address to Congress right now. So I'll go
Okay, you
ahead
want to
and
present that?
yes, I'll go ahead and bring it up here. President Trump addresses joint thingamajig. It might be because I started the stream first. That might be it.
Wrap it up, Jams. We'll see.
All right.
Are you on C-SPAN?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, there he is. All right, here we go.
Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to cancel mine and say, everybody go over to StatPat's Stateless Patriots page right now.
Yeah.
And we're going to follow him so we can avoid these tech issues. And I'll see you guys next week. And we'll be teasing a big announcement coming April 9th for all my fans. So thank you for tuning in. But I'm going to keep things simple tonight. And we'll go over to StatPat's Stateless Patriots page. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Okay. All right. So here we go.
Yep. All right. Give this up a little bit.
Thank you.
All right.
Johnson, Vice President Vance, the First Lady of the United States.
There she is. She's fucking here. She's alive. Now get on with it.
Members of the United States Congress, thank you very much. And to my fellow citizens, America is back.
God. Like the markets are fucking tumbling as we speak right now. Recession's around the corner.
I stood beneath the dome of this Capitol and proclaimed the dawn of the golden age of America. From that moment on, it has been nothing but swift and unrelenting action to usher in the greatest and most successful era in the history of our country. We have accomplished more in 43 days than most administrations accomplished in 4 years or 8 years, and we are just getting started.
More like destroyed more in 43 days. You haven't really accomplished shit. You haven't fucking given anything to anyone. Except all your billionaire butt buddies.
I return to this chamber tonight to report that America's momentum is back, our spirit is back, our pride is back, our confidence is back, and the American dream is surging bigger and better than ever before.
It's fucking slipping away at full speed,
The American
bud.
dream is unstoppable, and our country is on the verge of a comeback, the likes of which the world has never witnessed and perhaps will never witness again. There's never been anything like it.
Whatever.
It's like a cheap car
The
salesman.
presidential election of November
He
5th
is.
was a mandate like has not been seen in many decades. We won all 7 swing states, giving us an electoral college victory of 312 votes.
He still only won by 1.5% and only 2.3 million votes.
We won the popular vote by big numbers and won counties in our country.
Hey, it's the guy that fucking filed impeachment.
You're on 1.5 speed?
Yeah.
And won
Are you on
counties in our
1.5
country,
speed?
I am, yeah.
2,700 to 525. on a map that reads almost completely red for Republican.
Is this what you meant by it being lit, Megan?
Now, for the first time in modern
Everybody
history,
bitching?
more Americans believe that our country is headed in the right direction than the wrong direction. In fact, it's an astonishing record, 27-point swing, the most ever.
I doubt that. I strongly doubt that. Like even his own
That's the
approval
head of
numbers are.
the immigrant. That's the head of the mass deportations, Hoveman.
Small business
Yeah, that guy,
optimism
yeah.
saw its single largest one-month gain ever recorded, a 41-point jump.
God, look at these spineless fucking
Members
Yeah, I
are
have
directed
buffoons.
to uphold and maintain decorum in the House and to cease any
Fuck
further
that.
disruptions. That's your warning.
Or what?
I love this guy.
Good.
Members
good.
are engaging
Let
in
'em have-
willful and continuing breach of decorum, and the chair is prepared to direct the Sergeant at Arms to restore order to the joint session.
Good.
Gross.
Get them. Keep making noise until they drag you out.
Yeah. No, he's not standing down. What's this guy's name? The guy that fucking filed for impeachment?
Mr. Green, take your seat. Take your seat, sir. Take your seat.
You have no mandate. That's right. Al
While
Green.
members continue to
That's
engage
who it
in
is.
willful and concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the Sergeant at Arms to restore order. Remove this gentleman from the
Gross.
chamber.
Nice. Let's see what you mean now, Megan. Gross. Yeah. Al Green's a fucking hero, dude.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House. Mr. President, you continue.
Thank you. Over the past 6 weeks, I have signed nearly 100 executive orders and taken more than 400 executive actions, a record, to restore common sense, safety, optimism, and wealth all across our wonderful land. The people elected me to do the job, and I'm doing it.
Who just walked? Somebody just walked out.
Yeah.
In fact, it has been stated by many that the first month of our presidency, it's our presidency, is the most successful in the history of our nation. By many.
Whatever. That's a
And what
lie.
makes it even
False.
more impressive
False.
is that,
That's
you know who
crazy.
number 2
See
is?
that?
George Washington. Makes it even more impressive.
Look at all these fucking Democrats. Yeah, must steal, save Medicaid. False. That's a lie. Fucking not gonna let them off the hook.
And what makes it even
do.
more impressive is that, do you know who number 2 is? George Washington. How about that? How about that? I don't know about that list, but we'll take it. Within hours of taking the oath of office, I declared a national emergency on our southern border, and I deployed the U.S. military and border patrol to repel the invasion of our country.
Invasion, huh?
And what a job they've done. As a result, illegal border crossings last month were by far the lowest ever recorded, ever. They heard my words and they chose not to come. Much easier that way. In comparison, under Joe Biden, the worst president in American history, there were hundreds of thousands of illegal crossings a month, and virtually all of them, including murderers, drug dealers, gang members, and people from mental institutions and insane asylums.
Yeah, I
were
wonder
released
what
into our
president
country.
freed
Who would
all
want to
those
do
mental
that?
institution
This
patients.
is my 5th such speech to Congress. And once again, I look at the Democrats in front of me, and I realize there is absolutely nothing I can say to make them happy or to make them stand or smile or applaud. Nothing I can do. I could find a cure to the most devastating disease, a disease that would wipe out entire nations, or announce the answers to the greatest economy in history, or the stoppage of crime to the lowest levels ever recorded. And these people sitting right here will not clap, will not stand, and certainly will not cheer for these astronomical achievements. They won't do it, no matter what. Five times I've been up here. It's very sad, and it just shouldn't be this way.
Yeah, why don't you actually fucking do something for people instead of lying? Looking like you're not fucking fooling everybody, dude.
So Democrats sitting before me, for just this one night, why not join us in celebrating so many incredible wins for America?
Such as?
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
God, fucking retire already, Pelosi.
Every day, my administration is fighting to deliver the change America needs to bring a future that America deserves, and we're doing it. This is a time for big dreams and bold action. Upon taking office, I imposed an immediate freeze on all federal hiring, a freeze on all new federal regulations, and a freeze on all foreign aid.
How is that making America great again? What is that doing for us?
I terminated the ridiculous Green New Scam. I withdrew from the unfair Paris Climate Accord,
Did nothing about
which was
nothing.
costing us trillions of dollars
Trillions.
that
Oh
other
my
countries were
fucking
not
God.
paying. I withdrew from the corrupt World Health Organization. And I also withdrew from the anti-American UN Human Rights Council.
Anti-American?
We ended all of Biden's environmental restrictions that were making our country far less safe and totally unaffordable. And importantly, we ended the last administration's insane electric vehicle mandate, saving our auto workers and companies from economic destruction.
And it's about to get a lot worse with these fucking tariffs. It doesn't
To
matter much.
unshackle our economy, I have directed that for every one new regulation, 10 old regulations must be eliminated, just like I did in my very successful first term.
Yeah, so the for-profit motive will continue to corrupt everything.
Yeah. Yeah, gut the public and
In
reward
that
the
first
private.
term, we set records on ending unnecessary rules and regulations like no other president had done before. We ordered all federal workers to return to the office. They will either show up for work in person or be removed from their job.
Fucking Marjorie Taylor Greene. Get the fuck out of here.
And we've ended weaponized government where, as an example, a sitting president is allowed to viciously prosecute his political opponent, like me. How did that work out? Not too good. Not too good.
Yeah, Supreme Court ruled you're basically a fucking king above the law.
And I've stopped all government censorship and brought back free speech in America. It's back.
Hilarious.
That's a person on the left.
Unless you're a student protester, obviously.
And 2
Right.
days ago, I signed an order making English the official language of the United States of America.
Another meaningless gesture just to jerk yourself off.
I renamed the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America.
This is cost billions of dollars, by the way.
And likewise, I renamed for a great president, William McKinley, Mount McKinley again.
Same thing.
Beautiful.
Anti-American.
We love that.
Yeah.
We've ended the tyranny of so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion policies all across the entire federal government and indeed the private sector and our military.
Party of racism and sexism.
And our country will be woke no longer.
God, you don't even know what the fuck that means. Jesus
That is such
Christ,
trash.
dude.
We
Such
believe
trash.
that whether you are a
What
doctor,
a
an
fucking
accountant, a
clown
lawyer,
show.
or an air traffic controller, you should be hired and promoted based on skill and competence, not race or gender. Very important.
God, never provided any evidence for that, just asserted it without any fucking end to the investigation. Disgusting
be
piece of
hired
human garbage.
Based on merit And the Supreme Court, in a brave and very powerful decision, has allowed us to do so. Thank you. Thank you very much.
What the fuck does that mean? They're looking at
We
him
have
like,
removed the
what?
poison of critical race theory from our public schools, and I signed an order making it the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, that'll fucking lower the egg prices, Donnie.
It's all one
That
big
was just-
distraction.
Yeah, that's been plaguing the
I also
minds
signed
of
an
countless
executive
Americans.
order to ban men from playing in women's sports.
For those of you who want to know about the fascism's favorite formula, scapegoat politics, check out my essay, Right Wing Magic Trick. There's Ben Shapiro.
Oh
Matt
my
Walsh.
God. And Matt Walsh.
Nazis.
Fucking
All the Nazis
gross.
are in
All-star
attendance.
High school athlete,
Jesus
one of the
Christ.
best, preparing for a future in college sports. But when her girls' volleyball match
God,
was invaded
fucking
by a male,
disgusting, dude. I
he
could throw up.
smashed the ball so hard in Peyton's face, causing traumatic brain injury, partially paralyzing her right side and ending her athletic career. It was a shot like she's never seen before. She's never seen anything like it. Peyton is here tonight in the gallery, and Peyton, from now on, schools will kick the men off the girls' team, or they will lose all federal funding.
Disgusting political prop. This is fucking disgusting.
And if you really want to see numbers, just take a look at what happened in the women's boxing, weightlifting, track and field, swimming, or cycling, where a male recently finished a long-distance race 5 hours and 14 minutes ahead of a woman for a new record by 5 hours. Broke the record by 5 hours. It's demeaning for women, and it's very bad for our country. We're not going to put up with it any longer.
Sure, this is completely misrepresented, but facts don't fucking matter anymore, obviously.
What I've just described is only a small fraction of the common sense revolution that is now, because of us, sweeping the entire world. Common sense has become a common theme, and we will never go back. Never. Never going to let that happen. Among my very highest priorities is to rescue our economy and get dramatic and immediate relief to working families. As you know, we inherited from the last administration an economic catastrophe and an inflation nightmare.
And what have you done
Their
about it?
policies drove up energy prices, pushed up grocery costs, and drove the necessities of life out of reach for millions and millions of Americans. They've never had anything like it. We suffered the worst inflation in 48 years, but perhaps even in the history of our country. They're not sure. As president, I'm fighting every day to reverse this damage and make America affordable again.
Yeah, I'm sure all the tariffs that are going into effect and the retaliatory tariffs, because of the tariffs that we put on other countries, are sure to make that happen.
Joe Biden especially let the price of eggs get out of control. The egg price is out of control.
Oh my
And we're
God.
working hard to get it back down. Secretary, do a good job on that. You inherited a total mess from the previous administration. Do a good job.
Yeah, fucking gross, dude. Yeah, so Secretary has control over the bird flu or
A
what?
major focus of our fight to defeat inflation is rapidly reducing the cost of energy. The previous administration cut the number of new oil and gas leases by 95%, slowed pipeline construction to a halt, and closed more than 100 power plants. We are opening up many of those power plants right now. And frankly, we have never seen anything like it. That's why on my first day in office, I declared a national energy emergency. As you've heard me say many times, we have more liquid gold under our feet than any nation on earth, and by far. And now I fully authorize the most talented team ever assembled to go and get it. It's called Drill, Baby, Drill. My administration is also working on a gigantic natural gas pipeline in Alaska, among the largest in the world, where Japan, South Korea, and other nations want to be our partner with investments of trillions of dollars each. There's never been anything like that one. It will be truly spectacular. It's all set to go. The permitting is gotten. And later this week, I will also take historic action to dramatically expand production of critical minerals and rare earths here in the USA. To further combat inflation, we will not only be reducing the cost of energy, but we'll be ending the flagrant waste of taxpayer dollars. And to that end, I have created the brand new Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. Perhaps you've heard of it. Perhaps.
Right.
Street justice is coming for you, buddy.
Yep. Can't come soon enough.
Which is headed by Elon Musk, who is in the gallery tonight.
Oh, so it is headed by Elon Musk. So Elon Musk is the head of Doge, huh? Huh. Okay. I thought he had nothing to do with Doge. I thought Doge was completely independent from Elon
By
Musk.
the way,
So,
the
like,
DNC just sent me a text of raising money.
He
so
didn't need this.
of
He
course
didn't
they
need
did.
this. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Ah.
Everybody here, even this side, appreciates it, I believe. They just don't want to admit that. Just listen to some of the appalling waste we have already identified. $22 billion from
lie.
HHS to
I
provide
already
free
know it's a
housing and
fucking
cars
lie.
for illegal aliens.
Fucking
$45
lie.
million for diversity, equity, and inclusion scholarships in Burma. $40 million to improve the social and economic inclusion of sedentary migrants. Nobody knows what that is.
Oh my God,
$8 million
dude. Fucking
to promote
anti-intellectualism is back in
LGBTQI+
style, baby.
in the African nation of
Fuck
Lesotho,
me.
which nobody has ever heard of. $60 million for indigenous peoples and Afro-Colombian empowerment in Central America. $60 million. $8 million for making mice transgender.
Damn it, dude.
This is real.
Sure
$32
is,
million
bud.
for a left-wing propaganda operation in Moldova. $10 million for male circumcision in Mozambique. $20 million for the Arab Sesame Street in the Middle East. It's a program. $20 million for a program. $1.9 billion to recently created Decarbonization of Homes Committee, headed up, and we know she's involved. Just at the last moment, the money was passed over by a woman named Stacey Abrams. Have you ever heard of her? A $3.5 million consulting contract for lavish fish monitoring. $1.5 million for voter confidence in Liberia. $14 million for social cohesion in Mali. $59 million for illegal alien hotel rooms in New York City.
He says that the U.S. is no longer the laughing stock of the world.
$250,000 to
The entire
increase
world is
vegan
looking at
local
this
climate
fucking
action
crying and
innovation
laughing at the same
in
time.
Zambia. $42
Just like
million
how
for
horrifying
social
it
and
is,
behavior change in Uganda.
and how just like pathetically
$14
hilarious
million
it is at
for
the same
improving
time.
public procurement in Serbia. $47 million for improving learning outcomes in Asia. Asia's doing very well with learning. I know what we're doing. We should use it ourselves. And $101 million for DEI contracts at the
Then you
Department
wouldn't fucking
of
win,
Education.
dude.
The most ever paid, nothing even like it. Under the Trump administration, all of these scams, and they're far worse, but I didn't think it was appropriate to talk about them. They're so bad. Many more have been found out and exposed and swiftly terminated by a group of very intelligent, mostly young people, headed up by Elon, and we appreciate it. We found hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud.
Yeah, that's not even true. The numbers in the single billions at the
all
very
those
least.
signs that the Democrats should be holding up should say "You're white trash,
We've
Hitler,"
taken
and
back
"You're
the
white
money
trash." Like,
and reduced our debt
enough.
to fight inflation and other things. Taking back a lot of that money. We got it just in time. This is just the beginning. The Government Accountability Office, a federal government office, has estimated annual fraud of over $500 billion in our nation, and we are working very hard to stop it. We're going to. We're also identifying shocking levels of incompetence and probable fraud in the Social Security program for our seniors, and that our seniors and people that we love rely on. Believe it or not, government databases list 4.7 million Social Security members from people aged 100 to 109 years
Fucking
old.
lie. A fucking
It
lie.
lists 3.6 million people from ages 110 to 119. I don't know
Another
any of them. I
fucking
know some
lie,
people that
dude.
are rather elderly, but not quite that elderly. 3.47 million people from ages 120 to 129.
It's not fucking true, dude.
3.9 million people from ages 130 to 139. 3.5 million people from ages 140 to 149. And money is being paid to many of them. And we're searching right now. In fact, Pam, good luck. Good luck. You're going to find it. But a lot of
You're
money
not.
is paid out.
You're not going to find that fucking
because it
money
just
because
keeps
it's
getting
not
paid
fucking
and
there.
paid, and
It's
nobody
not going
does,
to
and it
any
really
of those
hurts
fucking people.
Social
You
Security,
fucking
and hurts our
stupid,
country.
retarded
1.3
fuck.
million people from ages 150 to 159, and over 130,000 people, according to the Social Security databases, are age over 160 years old.
Not even
We have a
fucking true.
healthier country than I thought, Bobby.
Christ. God, these people are so fucking unbelievably stupid, dude.
Including, to finish, 1,039 people between the ages of 220 and 229, one person between the age of 240 and 249, and one person is listed at 360 years of age. More than 100 years older than our country. But we're going to find out where that money's going. And it's not going to be pretty. By slashing all of the fraud, waste, and theft we can find,
Oh, they
we will
can't.
defeat inflation, bring down mortgage rates, lower car payments and grocery prices, protect our seniors, and put more money in the pockets of American families.
Yeah. It's not going to fucking happen.
And today, interest rates took a beautiful drop, big, beautiful drop. It's about time. And in the near future, I want to do what has not been done in 24 years, balance the federal budget. We're going to balance it.
Oh, yeah. We'll see, bud.
Yeah, they just want to give it like a giant. They want to extend the tax cuts. They want to give $4.5 trillion in tax cuts.
Yeah. Be at least somewhat
With that goal
respectful
in
if they're
mind, we
using
have
all this money
developed
to
in
pay down
great
the debt.
detail what we are calling the gold card, which goes on sale very, very soon. For $5 million, we will allow the most successful job-creating people from all over the world to buy a path to U.S. citizenship. It's like the green card, but better and more sophisticated.
Jesus. So if you just
And
pay
these
enough,
people will
then
have
you
to
can
pay
become a
tax in our
citizen.
country. They won't have to pay tax from where they came. The money that they've made, you wouldn't want to do that, but they have to pay tax, create jobs. They'll also be taking people out of colleges and paying for them so that we can keep them in our country instead of having them being forced out. Number one, at the top school, as an example, being forced out and not being allowed to stay and create tremendous numbers of jobs and great success for a company out there. So while we take out the criminals, killers, traffickers, and child predators who are allowed to enter our country under the open border policy of these people, the Democrats, the Biden administration, the open border insane policies that you've allowed to destroy our country, we will now bring in brilliant, hardworking, job-creating people. They're going to pay a lot of money, and we're going to reduce our debt with that money. Americans have given us a mandate for bold and profound change. For nearly 100 years, the federal bureaucracy has grown until it has crushed our freedoms, ballooned our deficits, and held back America's potential in every possible way. The nation founded by pioneers and risk takers now drowns under millions and millions of pages of regulations and debt. Approvals that should take 10 days to get instead take 10 years, 15 years, and even 20 years before you're rejected. Meanwhile, we have hundreds of thousands of federal workers who have not been showing up to work. My administration will reclaim power from this unaccountable bureaucracy, and we will restore true democracy to America again. And any federal bureaucrat who resists this change will be removed from office immediately.
What?
Because we are draining the swamp. It's very simple. and the days of rule by unelected bureaucrats are over.
The irony. It's completely fucking lost.
And the next phase of our plan to deliver the greatest economy in history is for this Congress to pass tax cuts for everybody. They're in there. They're waiting for you to vote. And I'm sure that the people on my right, I don't mean the Republican right, but my right here, I'm sure you're going to vote for those tax cuts, because otherwise I don't believe the people will ever vote you into office. So I'm doing you a big favor by telling you that. But I know this group is going to be voting for the tax. Thank you. It's a very, very big part of our plan. We had tremendous success in our first term with it. A very big part of our plan. We're seeking permanent income tax cuts all across the board. And to get urgently needed relief to Americans hit especially hard by inflation, I'm calling for no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security benefits for our great seniors.
Start by paying your taxes.
And I also want to make interest payments on car loans tax deductible, but only if the car is made in America. And by the way, we're going to have growth in the auto industry like nobody's ever seen. Plants are opening up all over the place. Deals are being made. Never seen. That's a combination
It doesn't
of the
mean
election
shit
win
if
and
nobody
tariffs.
can afford
It's
to
a
buy
beautiful world, isn't it?
cars.
That, along with our other policies, will allow our auto industry to absolutely boom. It's going to boom. Spoke to the majors today, all three, the top people, and they're so excited. In fact, already numerous car companies have announced that they will be building massive automobile plants in America, with Honda just announcing a new plant in Indiana, one of the largest anywhere in the world. And this has taken place since our great victory on November 5th, a date which will hopefully go down as one of the most important in the history of our country.
Makes me
In
want to beat
addition,
the
as
shit
part
out of
of our
someone.
tax cuts, we want
It
to
does,
cut taxes
dude.
on domestic
I'm so
production
tired of
and
this shit.
all manufacturing. And just as we did before, we will provide 100% expensing. It will be retroactive to January 20th, 2025. And it was one of the main reasons why our tax cuts were so successful in our first term, giving us the most successful economy in the history of our country. First term. We had a great first term. If you don't make your product in America, however, under the Trump administration, you will pay a tariff, and in some cases, a rather large one. Other countries have used tariffs against us for decades, and now it's our turn to start using them against those other countries. On average, the European Union, China, Brazil, India, Mexico, and Canada, have you heard of them? And countless other nations charge us tremendously higher tariffs than we charge them. It's very unfair. India charges us auto tariffs higher than 100%. China's average tariff on our products is twice what we charge them. And South Korea's average tariff is 4 times higher. Think of that, 4 times higher. And we give so much help militarily and in so many other ways to South Korea, but that's what happens.
God,
This is
everything's
happening by
transactional.
friend and
huh?
foe. This system is not fair to the United States and never was. And so on April 2nd, I wanted to make it April 1st, but I didn't want to be accused of April Fool's Day. That's not, just one day was cost us a lot of money. But we're going to do it in April. I'm a very superstitious person. April 2nd, reciprocal tariffs kick in. And whatever they tariff us, other countries, we will tariff them. That's reciprocal, back and forth. Whatever they tax us, we will tax them. If they do non-monetary tariffs to keep us out of their market, then we will do non-monetary barriers to keep them out of our market. There's a lot of that, too. They don't even allow us in their market. We will take in trillions and trillions of dollars and create jobs like we have never seen before. I did it with China and I did it with others, and the Biden administration couldn't do anything about it because it was so much money they couldn't do anything about it. We have been ripped off for decades by nearly every country on earth, and we will not let that happen any longer. Much has been said over the last 3 months about Mexico and Canada, but we have very large deficits with both of them. But even more importantly, they've allowed fentanyl to come into our country at levels never seen before, killing hundreds of thousands of our citizens and many very young, beautiful people, destroying families. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. They are, in effect, receiving subsidies of hundreds of billions of dollars. We pay subsidies to Canada and to Mexico of hundreds of billions of dollars, and the United States will not be doing that any longer. We're not going to do it any longer. Thanks to our America First policies we're putting into place, we have had $1.7 trillion of new investment in America in just the past few weeks. The combination of the election and our economic policies that people of SoftBank, one of the most brilliant anywhere in the world, announced a $200 billion investment. OpenAI and Oracle, Larry Ellison, announced $500 billion investment, which they wouldn't have done if Kamala had won. Apple announced $500 billion investment. Tim Cook called me. He said, I cannot spend it fast enough. It's going to be much higher than that, I believe. They'll be building their plants here instead of in China. And just yesterday, Taiwan Semiconductor, the biggest in the world, most powerful in the world, has a tremendous amount, 97% of the market, announced a $165 billion investment to build the most powerful chips on earth right here in the USA. And we're not giving them any money. Your CHIPS Act is a horrible, horrible thing. We give hundreds of billions of dollars, and it doesn't mean a thing. They take our money and they don't spend it. All that meant to them, we're giving them no money. All that was important to them was they didn't want to pay the tariffs, so they came and they're building, and many other companies are coming. We don't have to give them money. We just want to protect our businesses and our people, and they will come because they won't have to pay tariffs if they build in America. So it's very amazing. You should get rid of the CHIP Act, and whatever's left over, Mr. Speaker, you should use it to reduce debt or any other reason you want to.
And fucking put tariffs on other countries to begin with.
Our new trade policy will also be great for the American farmer. I love the farmer.
Oh, yeah? You're
We're
taking
now
away their
selling
farms, you dumbass.
into our home market, the USA, because nobody is going to be able to compete with you. Because there's goods that come in from other countries and companies. They're really in a bad position in so many different ways. They're uninspected. They may be very dirty and disgusting, and they come in and they pour in, and they hurt our American farmers. The tariffs will go on agricultural product coming into America, and our farmers, starting on April 2nd, it may be a little bit of an adjustment period. We had that before when I made the deal with China, $50 billion of purchases, and I said, just bear with me, and they did. They did. Probably have to bear with me again, and this will be even better. That was great. The problem with it was that Biden didn't enforce it. He didn't enforce it. $50 billion of purchases, and we were doing great, but Biden did not enforce it, and it hurt our farmers. But our farmers are going to have a field day right now. So to our farmers, have a lot of fun. I love you too. I love you too. All going to happen.
What the fuck are you doing for them? You're ripping apart the USAID. You're fucking ripping apart the Inflation Reduction Act, both of which were very
tariff on foreign aluminum, copper, lumber, and steel, because if we don't have, as an example, steel
dust,
and lots of other things, we don't have a military, and frankly, we just won't have a country very long. Here today is a proud American steelworker, fantastic person from Decatur, Alabama, Jeff Denard. Has been working at the same steel plant for 27 years in a job that has allowed him to serve as the captain of his local volunteer fire department, raise 7 children with his beautiful wife, Nicole, and over the years provide a loving home for more than 40 foster children. So great, Jeff.
40 fucking foster children.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Jeff. Stories like Jeff's remind us that tariffs are not just about protecting American jobs. They're about protecting the soul of our country. Tariffs are about making America rich again and making America great again, and it's happening, and it will happen rather quickly. There'll be a little disturbance.
Yeah, the market sure
but
seemed to
we're
like your
okay with that.
fucking
It
tariffs.
won't be much.
They sure
No, you're
reacted
not.
positively.
And look,
Go back.
where
I want to
Biden
hear what
took
he
us
said that
very
made him
low, the
laugh.
lowest we've ever been.
Yeah.
Jeff, I want to win, and it's happening, and it will happen rather quickly. There'll be a little disturbance, but we're okay with that. It won't be much. No, you're not. Oh. And look where Biden took us very low, the lowest we've ever been. Jeff, I want to thank you very much.
Dude.
And I also want to recognize another person who has devoted herself to foster care community. She works so hard on it. A very loving person, our magnificent First Lady of the United States. Melania's work has yielded incredible results, helping prepare our nation's future leaders as they enter the workforce. Our First Lady is joined by two impressive young women, very impressive. Haley Ferguson, who benefited from the First Lady's Fostering the Future initiative and is poised to complete her education and become a teacher. And Elliston Berry, who became a victim of an illicit deepfake image produced by a peer. With Elliston's help, the Senate just passed the Take It Down Act. And this is so important. Thank you very much, John. John Thune, thank you. Stand up, John. Thank you, John. Thank you all very much. Thank you. And thank you to John Thune and the Senate. Great job. To criminalize the publication of such images online is a terrible, terrible thing. And once it passes the House, I look forward to signing that bill into law. Thank you. And I'm going to use that bill for myself, too, if you don't mind. Because nobody gets treated worse than I do online. Nobody. That's great. Thank you very much to the Senate. Thank you. But if we truly care about protecting Americans' children, no step is more crucial than securing America's borders. Over the past 4 years, 21 million people poured into the United States. Many of them were murderers, human traffickers, gang members, and other criminals from the streets of dangerous cities all throughout the world. Because of Joe Biden's insane and very dangerous open border policies, they are now strongly embedded in our country, but we are getting them out and getting them out fast.
Targeting people with no violent history, no criminal records.
I want to thank Tom Homan and Christy. I want to thank you and Paul of Border Patrol. I want to thank you. What a job they've all done. Everybody, Border Patrol, ICE, law enforcement in general is incredible. We have to take care of our law enforcement. Have to.
And that's why I'm pardoning all January 6th rioters.
A brilliant 22-year-old nursing student named Laken Riley, the best in her class, admired by everybody, went out for a jog on the campus of the University of Georgia. That morning, Laken was viciously attacked, assaulted, beaten, brutalized, and horrifically murdered. Laken was stolen from us by a savage illegal alien gang member who was arrested while trespassing across Biden's open southern border and then set loose into the United States under the heartless policies of that failed administration. It was indeed a failed administration. He had then been arrested and released in a Democrat-run sanctuary city, a disaster, before ending the life of this beautiful young angel. With us this evening are Laken's beloved mother, Allison, and her sister, Lauren.
Which is why we use Laken Riley as a scapegoat to pass an act that fucking indefinitely detains immigrants with no due process. Or people who we suspect of being immigrants.
Last year, I told Laken's grieving parents that we would ensure their daughter would not have died in vain. That's why the very first bill I signed into law as your 47th president mandates the detention of all dangerous criminal aliens who threaten public safety.
No due
strong,
process.
powerful act.
No due process. Doesn't matter. Yeah, it's another fucking power grab. Expansion of the Patriot Act.
It's called the Laken Riley Act. So Allison and Lauren, America will never, ever forget our beautiful Laken Hope Riley.
Fucking gross, dude.
Thank you very much. Since taking office, my administration has launched the most sweeping border and immigration crackdown in American history, and we quickly achieved the lowest numbers of illegal border crossers ever recorded. Thank you. The media and our friends in the Democrat Party kept saying we needed new legislation. We must have legislation to secure the border. But it turned out that all we really needed was a new president.
Oh, it's such bullshit. Yeah, you just need your own Gestapo, right?
Thank you. Joe Biden didn't just open our borders, he flew illegal
It
aliens
was
over
never
them
fucking
to
open.
overwhelm
It
our
was
schools,
never open.
hospitals, and communities throughout the country. Entire towns like Aurora, Colorado, and Springfield, Ohio, buckled under the weight of the migrant occupation and corruption like nobody's ever seen before. Beautiful towns destroyed. Now, just as I promised in my inaugural address, we are achieving the great liberation of America. But there still is much work to be done. Here tonight is a woman I have gotten to know, Alexis Nungary from Houston. Wonderful woman. Last June, Alexis's 12-year-old daughter, her precious Jocelyn, walked to a nearby convenience store. She was kidnapped, tied up, assaulted for 2 hours under a bridge, and horrifically murdered. Arrested and charged with this heinous crime are 2 illegal alien monsters from Venezuela, released into America by the last administration through their ridiculous open border. The death of this beautiful 12-year-old girl and the agony of her mother and family touched our entire nation greatly. Alexis, I promised that we would always remember your daughter, your magnificent daughter, and earlier tonight, I signed an order keeping my word to you. One thing I have learned about Jocelyn is that she loved animals so much. She loved nature. Across Galveston Bay, from where Jocelyn lived in Houston, you will find a magnificent national wildlife refuge, a pristine, peaceful, 34,000-acre sanctuary for all of God's creatures on the edge of the Gulf of America. Alexis, moments ago, I formally renamed that refuge in loving memory of your beautiful daughter, Jocelyn. So, Mr. Vice President, if you would, may I have the order?
Such garbage. I mean, they're going to be out of power someday. So when that day comes, don't come to our blue cities.
All 3 savages charged with Jocelyn and Lakin's murders were members of the Venezuelan prison gang, the toughest gang, they say, in the world, known as Tren de Aragua. 2 weeks ago, I officially designated this gang, along with MS-13 and the bloodthirsty Mexican drug cartels, as foreign terrorist organizations.
God, I wonder what country emboldens those prison gangs and those cartels. I wonder what their origins. I wonder where the MS-13's origins are from. No, they'll never mention that. They'll never really
They are now
discuss that.
officially in the same category as ISIS, and that's not good for them. Countless thousands of these terrorists were welcomed into the U.S. by the Biden administration. But now every last one will be rounded up and forcibly removed from our country, or, if they're too dangerous, put in jails, standing trial in this country, because we don't want them to come back ever. With us this evening is a warrior on the front lines of that battle, Border Patrol Agent Roberto Ortiz. Great guy.
Obviously a DEI hire. Yeah.
In January, Roberto and another agent were patrolling by the Rio Grande near an area known as Cartel Island. Doesn't sound too nice to me. When heavily armed gunmen started shooting at them, Roberto saw that his partner was totally exposed, at great danger, and he leapt into action, returning fire and providing crucial seconds for his fellow agent to seek safety, just barely. I have some of the prints of that event, and it was not good. Agent Ortiz, we salute you for your great courage and for your line of fire that you took and for the bravery that you showed. We honor you, and we will always honor you. Thank you, Roberto, very much. Thank you, Roberto. And I actually got to know him on my many calls to the border. He's a great gentleman. The territory to the immediate south of our border is now dominated entirely by criminal cartels that murder, rape, torture, and exercise total control. They have total control over a whole nation, posing a grave threat to our national security. The cartels are waging war in America, and it's time for America to wage war on the cartels, which we are doing. 5 nights ago, Mexican authorities, because of our tariff policies being imposed on them, think of this, handed over to us 29 of the biggest cartel leaders in their country. That has never happened before. They want to make us happy. First time ever. But we need Mexico and Canada to do much more than they've done, and they have to stop the fentanyl and drugs pouring into the USA. They're going to stop it. I have sent Congress a detailed funding request laying out exactly how we will eliminate these threats to protect our homeland and complete the largest deportation operation in American history, larger even than current record holder, President Dwight D. Eisenhower, a moderate man, but someone who believed very strongly in borders. Americans expect Congress to send me this funding without delay so I can sign it into law. So, Mr. Speaker, John Thune, both of you, I hope you're going to be able to do that, Mr. Speaker. Thank you. Mr. Leader, thank you. Thank you very much. And let's get it to me. I'll sign it so fast, you won't even believe it. And as we reclaim our sovereignty, we must also bring back law and order to our cities and towns. In recent years, our justice system has been turned upside down by radical left lunatics. Many jurisdictions virtually ceased enforcing the law against dangerous repeat offenders while weaponizing law enforcement against political opponents like me. My administration has acted swiftly and decisively to restore fair, equal, and impartial justice under the constitutional rule of law, starting at the FBI and the DOJ. Pam, good luck. Cash, wherever you may be, good luck. Good luck. Pam Bondi, good luck. So important. Going to do a great job. Cash, thank you. Thank you, Cash. They've already started very strong. They're going to do a fantastic job. You're going to be very proud of them. We're also once again giving our police officers the support, protection, and respect they so dearly deserve. They have to get it. They have such a hard, dangerous job, but we're going to make it less dangerous. The problem is the bad guys don't respect the law, but they're starting to respect it, and they soon will respect it. This also includes our great fire departments throughout the country. Our firemen and women are unbelievable people, and we'll never forget them. And besides that, they voted for me in record numbers, so I have no choice. One year ago this month, 31-year-old New York police officer Jonathan Diller, unbelievably wonderful person and a great officer, was gunned down at a traffic stop on Long Island. I went to his funeral. The vicious criminal charged with his murder had 21 prior arrests, and they were rough arrests, too. He was a real bad one. The thug in the seat next to him had 14 prior arrests and went by the name of Killer. He was Killer. He killed other people, they say, a lot of them. I attended Officer Diller's service, and when I met his wife and 1-year-old son, Ryan. It was very inspirational, actually.
I think a lot
His
of
widow's
people
name
do
is
that by
Stephanie,
now.
and she is here tonight. Stephanie, thank you very much, Stephanie.
I think
Thank
the
you.
only people still watching are like political junkies like you and me, and then the MAGA trash.
Right. Yeah, there are a lot of channels covering it
Stephanie,
tonight. I
we're
mean,
going to make
understandable. It's
sure that Ryan
basically a
knows his
State of
dad
the
was a
Union.
true hero, New York's finest. And we're going to get these cold-blooded killers and repeat offenders off our streets, and we're going to do it fast. Got to stop it. They get out with 28 arrests. They push people into subway trains. They hit people over the head, back of the head with baseball bats.
God,
gotta
be
get 'em outta here.
afraid. Be very
I've already
afraid.
signed
Be
an
very
executive order
afraid. There's
requiring a
fucking evil
mandatory
everywhere.
death
People are
penalty
gonna.
for anyone who murders a
God,
police
dude.
officer. And tonight I'm asking Congress to pass that policy into permanent law.
It's disgusting the way they use the young women who just don't know what
Oh
the hell
yeah,
they're
no, of
supporting.
course, and
It's
like
absolutely disgusting.
they frame it as if they are the protectors, like
I'm
the
also
Republicans
asking
and Trump and shit.
for a new crime bill getting tough on repeat offenders while
Scare them enough
enhancing
of them
protections for
portray
America's
themselves as the
police
protector.
officers so they can do their jobs without fear of their lives being totally destroyed. They don't want to be killed. We're not going to let them be killed. Joining us in the gallery tonight is a young man who truly loves our police. His name is DJ Daniel. He is 13 years old, and he has always dreamed of becoming a
this.
police officer.
Hitler Youth.
Dude.
Well, you're part of the Hitler Youth, you dumbass. Your parents ought to be
Right.
ashamed of themselves. Yeah, you're a terrible
Yeah.
father. You're a god-awful father, dude.
Yeah, because
Fucking Uncle
because
Tom.
cops are so popular in this fucking country, right? Another political prop.
Oh, well, I get to get on camera. Oh, I'm on TV. Fuck you.
Right.
You're a Nazi sympathizer.
Yeah, no kidding. I
But in
thought DEI
2018,
hiring was done,
DJ
Trump.
was diagnosed with
Yeah.
brain cancer. The doctors gave him 5 months at most to live. That was more than 6 years ago.
Absolutely shameless.
Since that time, DJ and his dad have been on a quest to make his dream come true, and DJ has been sworn in as an honorary law enforcement officer, actually a number of times. The police love him, the police departments love him. And tonight, DJ, we're going to do you the biggest honor of them all. I am asking our new Secret Service Director, Sean Curran, to officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service.
Oh, fuck, dude.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, dude, every kid's
political
dream.
How much longer is this? I don't even fucking do this anymore.
Right.
Are we close
Yeah.
to live?
Huh?
Are we close to live?
Yeah, a few seconds off.
Okay. It's disgusting. Using
Yeah.
kids and young girls.
Yeah,
Indoctrination.
it's absolutely shameless.
Thank you, DJ. DJ's doctors believe his cancer likely came from a chemical he was exposed to when he was younger. Since 1975, rates of child cancer have increased by more than 40%. Reversing this trend is one of the top priorities for our new presidential commission to make America healthy again, chaired by our new Secretary of Health and Human Services.
Yeah, I'm
Robert
sure. I'm
F.
sure
Kennedy.
all like the removal of regulations from the EPA and shit is sure to help with that, right? It's like you
Jr.
fucking piece of shit. Like he's so fucking deregulation heavy. It's just like, wow. I mean, prepare to see those rates go back the fuck up. All right, it's live now.
With the name Kennedy, you would have thought everybody over here would have been cheering. How quickly they forget.
Illiterate.
Our goal is to get toxins out of our environment, poisons out of our food supply, and keep our children healthy and strong. As an example, not long ago, and you can't even believe these numbers, 1 in 10,000 children had autism, 1 in 10,000, and now it's 1 in 36. There's something wrong, 1 in 36. Think of that.
So we're going to find out what it is, and there's nobody better than Bobby and all of the people that are working with you. You have the best to figure out what is going on. Okay, Bobby, good luck. It's a very important job. Thank you.
He's disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going down, bro. Don't come to LA.
Thank you. My administration is also working to protect our children from toxic ideologies in our schools. A few years ago, January, Little John and her husband discovered that their daughter's school had secretly socially transitioned
What a
their
fucking name.
13-year-old little girl. Teachers and administrators
January, Little
conspired
John.
to deceive January and her husband while encouraging her daughter to use a new name and pronouns. They, them pronoun, actually, all without telling January, who is here tonight and is now a courageous advocate
Hold the
against
fuck
this
on.
form of child
Hold on.
abuse. January, pronoun, new name to deceive January, little girl. Teachers and administrators conspired to deceive January and her husband while encouraging her daughter to use a new name and pronouns. They, them pronoun, actually, all without telling January, who is here tonight and is now a
What in the
courageous
fuck
advocate
harm is
against this
being done
form of
here?
child abuse. January, thank you.
What fucking like just like change like okay, consulting with the child if the child wants to identify differently, if the child wants to use different pronouns and whatnot. What actual fucking harm is being done there? Like fucking maybe the child doesn't want to come forward to the parents about their identity because they know that they will not be accepted by the parents. Where else do they have to turn? Their fucking teachers, most likely. This is fucking horrifying, dude.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
God, fuck you. Fucking kill yourself.
That's what I'm saying.
God, fucking disgusting.
Thank you. Stories like this are why, shortly after taking office, I signed an executive order banning public schools from indoctrinating our children with transgender ideology.
Yeah, fucking full indoctrination, dude. Fucking children have no fucking sense of individualism, I guess.
I also
No
signed
sense of
an order
identity.
to cut off
Just follow
all
the fucking
taxpayer
line.
funding to any institution that engages in the sexual mutilation of our youth.
One big distraction tactic. It's
Yep.
just like the gay rights when we were kids. Same thing.
Yeah, we'll see
No
how
difference.
And now I want
fucking
Congress
that
to
lasts
pass
too.
a bill permanently banning and criminalizing sex changes on children and forever ending the lie that any child is trapped in the wrong body.
Oh my
This is a
fucking
big lie.
god, dude. Yeah, it's literally just fucking trans erasure.
And our message
That's it. It's a
to
fucking
every
like
child in
eradication.
America is that you are perfect exactly the way God made you.
God, you have no right to dictate or determine how someone else fucking identifies. You repugnant piece of fucking dog shit.
Because we're getting wokeness out of our schools and out of our military, and it's already out, and it's out of our society. We don't want it. Wokeness is trouble. Wokeness is bad. It's gone. It's gone. And we feel so much better for it, don't we? Don't we feel better? Our service members won't
You
be
feel real fucking
activists
good
and
about yourself, dude.
ideologues. They will be fighters and warriors. They will fight for our country. And Pete, congratulations.
All white.
Secretary of Defense, congratulations.
Yeah.
Fucking
That
just
one
fucking
cabinet
unqualified.
post, you can just hold that over Republicans' heads forever, like some
Dude,
fucking
yeah.
Fox News host, dude. Are you serious? You expect us to ever
And
respect
he's
you
not big
again?
into the woke movement, I can tell you. I know him well. I am pleased to report that in January, the U.S. Army had its single best recruiting month in 15 years, and that all armed services are having among the best recruiting results ever in the history of our services. What a difference.
Sure.
And you know, it was just a few months ago where the results were exactly the opposite. We couldn't recruit anywhere. We couldn't recruit. Now we're having the best results just about that we've ever had. What a tremendous turnaround. It's really a beautiful thing to see. People love our country again. It's very simple. They love our country and they love being in our military again. So it's a great thing. And thank you very much. Great job. Thank you. We're joined tonight
Bernie.
by a young man, Jason Hartley, who knows the weight of that call of duty. Jason's father, grandfather, and great-grandfather all wore the uniform. Jason tragically lost his dad, who was also a Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputy when he was just a boy, and now he wants to carry on the family legacy of service. Jason is a senior in high school, a six-letter varsity athlete, a really good athlete, they say, a brilliant student with a 4.46, that's good, GPA. And his greatest dream is to attend the U.S. Military Academy at West Point. And Jason, that's a very big deal getting in. That's a hard one to get into. But I'm pleased to inform you that your application has been accepted. You will soon be joining the Corps of Cadets.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
Look at the way they're using a lot of young people in this, dude. This is disgusting. They are indoctrinating the youth of America just like Hitler did in Germany. I mean, it's the same fucking thing. This
really
is fascism. This white trash fascism. You know, I'm talking to a lot of people who are trying to tell me to tone down the use of the term white trash.
Jason, you're
I
going to
don't
be
think
on
so,
the long
man.
gray line,
I don't know.
Jason.
I don't know.
Yeah.
As
I don't know if I should.
Commander-in-Chief, my focus is on building the most powerful military of the future. As a first step, I'm asking Congress to fund a state-of-the-art Golden Dome missile defense shield to protect our homeland, all made in the USA. And Ronald Reagan wanted to do it long ago, but the technology just wasn't there, not even close. But now we have the technology. It's incredible, actually. And other places they have it. Israel has it. Other places have it. And the United States should have it too, right, Tim, right? They should have it too. So I want to thank you. But it's a very, very important. This is a very dangerous world. We should have it. We want to be protected, and we're going to protect our citizens like never before. To boost our defense industrial base, we are also going to resurrect the American shipbuilding industry, including commercial shipbuilding and military shipbuilding. And for that purpose, I am announcing tonight that we will create a new Office of Shipbuilding in the White House and offer special tax incentives to bring this industry home to America where it belongs. We used to make so many ships. We don't make them anymore very much, but we're going to make them very fast, very soon. It will have a huge impact. To further enhance our national security, my administration will be reclaiming the Panama Canal, and we've already started doing it.
Yeah, I guess BlackRock just spent $23 billion securing the entire
Yesterday, a
shipping
large
area around the
American
Panama
company
Canal, up and down it.
Announced they are buying both ports around the Panama Canal
There
and
it
lots
is.
of other things having to do with the Panama Canal and a couple of other canals. The Panama Canal was built by Americans for Americans, not for others.
Even
but
though it's
others
in
could
Panama,
use
but
it.
let's just skip over that
But it was
fucking
built at
fact.
tremendous cost of American blood and treasure. 38,000 workers died building the Panama Canal. They died of malaria. They died of snake bites and mosquitoes. Not a nice place to work. They paid them very highly to go there, knowing there was a 25% chance that they would die. The most expensive project also that was ever built in our country's history, if you bring it up to modern day costs. It was given away by the Carter administration for $1, but that agreement has been violated very severely. We didn't give it to China. We gave it to Panama, and we're taking it back.
Yeah, just fuck our alliances. Why should anyone trust the United States like ever again?
And we have Marco Rubio in charge. Good luck, Marco. Now, we know who to blame if anything goes wrong.
Sure.
Marco's been amazing,
good
and
at-
he's going to do a great
good
job.
at pointing the finger.
Think of it. He got 100 votes. You know, he was approved with actually 99, but the 100th was this gentleman, and I feel very certain. So let's assume he got 100 votes. And I'm either very, very happy about that or I'm very concerned about it. But he's already proven. I mean, he's a great gentleman. He's respected by everybody, and we appreciate you voting for Marco. He's going to do a fantastic job. Thank you. Thank you. He's doing a great job. Great job.
Republican House
And I
members
also have a message
told to
tonight
stop
for the
holding
incredible
in-person town
people of
halls.
Greenland. We strongly support your right to determine your own future. And if you choose, we welcome you into the United States of America. We need Greenland for national security and even international security. And we're working with everybody involved to try and get it. But we
No,
need it really for international world security.
no, you
And
just
I
need it
think we're gonna
for
get it.
Peter Thiel and his
One way or the
billionaire
other, we're
buddies.
going to get it. We will keep you safe. We will make you rich, and together
That's what
we
fucking
will take
NATO is
Greenland
for,
to
you dumb
heights like
fuck.
you have never thought possible before. It's a very small population, but very, very large piece of land and very, very
We're
important.
literally
for
friends with Denmark. They'll
military
fucking let you
security.
use the
America is
land
once
for
again
like
standing
what the
strong
fuck do you
against
need it
the
for?
forces of radical
Protection?
Islamic terrorism. 3.5 years ago, ISIS terrorists killed 13 American service members and countless others in the Abbey Gate bombing during the disastrous and incompetent withdrawal from Afghanistan. Not that they were withdrawing, it was the way they withdrew. Perhaps the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. Tonight, I am pleased to announce that we have just apprehended the top terrorist responsible for that atrocity, and he is right now on his way here to face the swift sword of American justice.
Yeah, I don't fucking blame them. God.
And I want to thank especially the government of Pakistan for helping arrest this monster. This was a very momentous day for those 13 families who I actually got to know very well, most of them, whose children were murdered, and the many people that were so badly, over 42 people, so badly injured on that fateful day in Afghanistan. What a horrible day. Such incompetence was shown that when Putin saw what happened, I guess he said, wow, maybe this is my chance. That's how bad it was. Should have never happened. Grossly incompetent people. I spoke to many of the parents and loved ones, and they're all in our hearts tonight. Just spoke to them on the phone. We had a big call. Every one of them called, and everybody was on the line, and they did nothing but cry with happiness. They were very happy, as happy as you can be under those circumstances. Their child, brother, sister, son, daughter was killed for no reason whatsoever. In the Middle East, we're bringing back our hostages from Gaza. In my first term, we achieved one of the most groundbreaking peace agreements in generations, the Abraham Accords. And now we're going to build on that foundation to create a more peaceful and prosperous future for the entire region. A lot of things are happening in the Middle East. People have been talking about that so much lately with everything going on with Ukraine and Russia. But a lot of things are happening in the Middle East. It's a rough neighborhood, actually. I'm also working tirelessly to
God, I
end the
wonder who's
savage
contributing to
conflict
that.
in Ukraine. Millions of Ukrainians and Russians have been needlessly killed or wounded in this horrific and brutal conflict with no end in sight. The United States has sent hundreds of billions of dollars to support Ukraine's defense with no security, with no anything.
Yeah. Don't fucking shake your head, Johnson.
Do you want to keep it going for another 5 years? Yeah, you would say Pocahontas says yes. "2,000 people are being killed every single week. More than that. They're Russian young people. They're Ukrainian young people. They're not Americans, but I want it to stop. Meanwhile, Europe has sadly spent more money buying Russian oil and gas than they have spent on defending Ukraine by far. Think of that. They've spent more buying Russian oil and gas than they have defending. And we've spent perhaps $350 billion, like taking candy from a baby. That's what happened. And they've spent $100 billion. What a difference that is. And we have an ocean separating us, and they don't. But we're getting along very well with them, and lots of good things are happening. Biden has authorized more money in this fight than Europe has spent by billions and billions of dollars. It's hard to believe that they wouldn't have
Get the
stopped it
fuck
and said
on
at
with
some
it,
point,
dude.
come on, let's equalize. You got to be equal to us. But that didn't happen. Earlier today, I received an important letter from President Zelensky of Ukraine. The letter reads, Ukraine is ready to come to the negotiating table as soon as possible to bring lasting peace closer. Nobody wants peace more than the Ukrainians, he said. My team and I stand ready to work under President Trump's strong leadership to get a peace that lasts. We do really value how much America has done to help Ukraine maintain its sovereignty and independence. Regarding the agreement on minerals and security, Ukraine is ready to sign it at any time that is convenient for you. I appreciate that he sent this letter, just got it a little while ago. Simultaneously, we've had serious discussions with Russia and have received strong signals that they are ready for peace. Wouldn't that be beautiful? Wouldn't that be beautiful?
Getting late.
Wouldn't
10:50
that
on the
be
East
beautiful?
Coast.
Yeah.
It was a long ass speech, man. What
Yeah.
time did he get going? 6:45.
It's time to
6:30?
stop this madness. It's time
Yeah,
to halt the killing.
I started
It's
at
time
6.
to end this senseless war. If you want to end wars, you have to talk to both sides. Nearly 4 years ago, amid rising tensions, a history teacher named Mark Fogel was detained in Russia and sentenced to 14 years in a penal colony. Rough stuff. The previous administration barely lifted a finger to help him. They knew he was innocent, but they had no idea where to begin. But last summer, I promised his 95-year-old mother, Malphine, that we would bring her boy safely back home. After 22 days in office, I did just that, and they are here tonight.
Yeah, way to go. You're a fascist. You are promoting fascism in America. Don't come to our blue cities. Don't come to our blue cities.
To Mark and his great mom, we are delighted to have you safe and sound and with us. As fate would have it, Mark Fogel was born in a small rural town in Butler, Pennsylvania. Have you heard of it? Where his mother has lived for the past 78 years. I just happened to go there last July 13th for a rally. That was not pleasant. And that is where I met his beautiful mom right before I walked onto that stage. And I told her I would not forget what she said about her son. And I never did I? Never forgot. Less than 10 minutes later, at that same rally, gunfire rang out, and a sick and deranged assassin unloaded 8 bullets from his sniper's perch into a crowd of many thousands of people. My life was saved by a fraction of an inch, but some were not so lucky. Corey Comparator was a firefighter, a veteran, a Christian, a husband, a devoted father, and above all, a protector. When the sound of gunshots pierced the air, it was a horrible sound. Corey knew instantly what it was and what to do.
I don't know if
He
I can
threw
keep going with
himself
this.
on
I might
top
have to
of his
bail on you.
wife and daughters and shielded them
I
from
don't
the
fucking
bullets
blame you.
I'm not
with
going to
his
stick
own
around
body.
long afterwards.
Corey was hit really hard.
For sure.
You know the story from there. He sacrificed his life to save theirs. 2 others, very fine people, were
manipulative.
also seriously hit.
Yeah.
People fall for it.
But thankfully, with the help of 2
Um,
great country doctors,
He's going to get a bump
he
because of
thought
this.
they were gone and they were saved.
Yeah, he
So
probably
those
will.
doctors
His popularity
had
numbers
great
are going to go up
talent.
because of this.
Well, it depends
We're
on how
joined
bad the economy
by
crashes.
Corey's wife,
the next few
Helen,
days.
who was his high
I think the
school
recession is
sweetheart,
finally
and their
here.
2 beloved daughters, Allison and Kaylee. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw the Atlanta Fed numbers, but they're predicting by the end of March a negative 2.8 growth in GDP, like for the first quarter of the year.
That's a big number.
Yeah,
For one quarter.
yeah, like almost 3%, like shrinking of the GDP. Insane. And it used to be 1.5, like a shrink of 1.5%.
To Helen,
And they
Allison, and
revised it.
Kaylee, Corey is looking down on his 3 beautiful ladies right now, and he is cheering you on. He loves you. He is cheering you on. Corey was taken from us much too soon, but his destiny was to leave us all with a shining example of the selfless devotion of a true American patriot. It was love like Corey's that built our country, and it's love like Corey's that is going to make our country more majestic than ever before. I believe that my life was saved that day in Butler for a very good reason. I was saved by God to make America great again. I believe that.
Disgusting. See, that's what makes me motivated to call them white trash, dude. When they invoke God. That's the worst one.
Of course.
How dare you? How fucking dare you? White trash Nazis. Don't come to our blue cities, yo, wearing that MAGA hat.
Thank you very much. From the patriots of Lexington and Concord to the heroes of Gettysburg and Normandy, from the warriors who crossed the Delaware to the trailblazers who climbed the Rockies, and from the legends who soared at Kitty Hawk to the astronauts who touched the moon, Americans have always been the people who defied all odds, transcended all dangers, made the most extraordinary sacrifices, and did whatever it took to defend our children, our country, and our freedom. And as we have seen in this chamber tonight, that same strength, faith, love, and spirit is still alive and thriving in the hearts of the American people. Despite the best efforts of those who would try to censor us, silence us, break us, destroy us, Americans are today a proud, free, sovereign, and independent nation that will always be free, and we will fight for it till death. We will never let anything happen to our beloved country, because we are a country of doers, dreamers, fighters, and survivors. Our ancestors crossed a vast ocean, strode into the unknown wilderness, and carved their fortunes from the rock and soil of a perilous and very dangerous frontier. They chased our destiny across a boundless continent. They built the railroads, laid the highways, and graced the world with American marvels like the Empire State Building, the mighty Hoover Dam, and the towering Golden Gate Bridge. They lit the world with electricity, broke free of the force of gravity, fired up the engines of American industry, vanquished the communists, fascists, and Marxists all over the world, and gave us countless modern wonders sculptured out of iron, glass, and steel. We stand on the shoulders of these pioneers who won and built the modern age. These workers who poured their sweat into the skylines of our cities. These warriors who shed their blood on fields of battle and gave everything they had for our rights and for our freedom.
Now you want to sell
Now
it all
is
out
our
to some
time to
tech
take up
billionaires.
the righteous cause of American liberty. And it is our turn to take America's destiny into our own hands and begin the most thrilling days in the history of our country. This will be our greatest era. With God's help, over the next 4 years, we are going to lead this nation even higher, and we are going to forge the freest, most advanced, most dynamic, and most dominant civilization ever to exist on the face of this earth.
Dominant.
We are going to create the highest quality of life, build the safest and wealthiest and healthiest and most vital communities anywhere in the world.
It's
We are
alienating
going
everybody.
to conquer the vast frontiers of science, and we're going to lead humanity into space and plant the American flag on the planet Mars and even far beyond.
Sure. That's not going to happen. It's just not.
And through it all, we are going to rediscover the unstoppable power of the American spirit. And we are going to renew unlimited promise of the American dream. Every single day, we will stand up and we will fight, fight, fight for the country our citizens believe in and for the country our people deserve.
For the country that people deserve, huh? Wonder who's dictating that. What kind of country do we deserve exactly? Yeah, a bunch of Democrats have left already.
My fellow Americans, get ready for an incredible future, because the golden age of America has only just begun. It will be like nothing that has ever been seen before. Thank you. God bless you. And God bless America.
Thank fucking God it's over.
Yeah, pretty bad. Like, what a disgrace. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. So maybe we should introduce this idea. I know we're on your stream. Nah, we'll save it for next week. But
sure.
I don't know how a lefty doesn't step up, and start calling these people who support him still white trash. It's not just about the politicians anymore. This is not. They are complicit. These people who support Trump now are complicit in the rape of our country and the spreading of fascist propaganda. It is absolutely disgusting to see them use the youth and like
Yeah.
these good-looking women, like
Young
who's,
white
like,
women.
it's just disgusting.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just fucking
Just political
gross.
props throughout, a bunch of fucking feel good stories, just to, like, to fucking it's sheer and utter manipulation. Like
Mhm.
that's all it is. It's just like you can't get any more transparent than like this whole fucking thing. And meanwhile, in between these flowery, fluffy, feel-good stories, is just straight up fucking fascist propaganda. The
Mhm.
erasure of trans people, the dehumanizing of them, just the cleansing, as it were. Like they don't fucking exist. You're all fucking insane. It's just like fucking it's disgusting. It's absolutely fucking vile. And of course, the Lincoln Riley Act and just like the entire the scapegoating of foreigners in general, like it is an act that basically does away with due process. You can hold someone in detention indefinitely if you suspect them to be here in the country illegally.
Right.
Like holy fucking shit, dude. And
Yeah,
just like
I
the
mean,
lies about the economy as well. Fucking hell, dude.
yeah, he's talking about the price of eggs, and it's like, dude, have you not checked? And it's everything's getting worse. Everything's getting
Yeah.
more expensive. What are you talking about? And he just doesn't care. The truth doesn't matter anymore.
No, it
It's just
doesn't.
like the facts. It's got Ben Shapiro and Matt Walsh. I mean, these people are gonna
Right.
get
Jesus
like,
Christ.
Ben Shapiro is based in Nashville, Tennessee, where I went to school. That's a very liberal town.
Mhm.
And so there might be social consequences for his public support of Trump. I
No, of
mean,
course.
Megan says indefinitely for suspected for being here illegally. That's not true. Have you read it? What's
All
she
right,
talking
let's
about?
bring the Lincoln Riley Act. Let's see
Oh,
here.
I can't highlight. You have to highlight.
Yeah, no, I got it.
Yeah, you're getting hooked up tonight. Just your stream tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. Let's see. Require the humans to successfully charged with theft for other purposes. So okay, so this just applies to. How does this not apply to everybody? Detention of certain aliens who commit theft. Okay, so thieves. Fuck, I'll read this a different time. It's just redundancy. It's just redundancy for the sake of throwing red meat to the base. For criminal offenses, okay. Well,
Yeah,
as
I'm
far
sure
as
some of the people that they're deporting are criminals, but
yeah, but the
that's
thing is,
not
like,
what's actually.
they're targeting more than just like people who are criminals. They're just going after anyone who's here fucking illegally because
Yeah.
according to fucking all these MAGA trash gangsters, they consider anybody who's here fucking illegally to be a criminal just by definition.
Yeah,
Fucking
I'm rubbing off on you. You just said MAGA trash.
yeah, no, yeah, the
I
fucking
mean, what are we gonna do, man? Like, I mean, it is
abolish ICE for
the
crying out fucking
question. The
loud.
big question for the left is: are you ready to turn citizen against citizen? Are you ready to say to the MAGA trash, "You are not welcome here. You are anti-American," because that's what's going to be
Yeah,
required. We
yeah,
need a concentration of political power like the likes of which we haven't seen since for the left since FDR to recover from this. This is absolutely
yeah,
miserable.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I just don't see any way out of this other than the politics of dominance.
Right. Yeah, it absolutely disgusting. Like political prop after political prop. Just an onslaught of lies that yeah, fucking fact checking is not going to do shit. He's just going to
No.
repeat the same fucking thing over and over again. The social security shit, saying that people like over 100, 110, 150 years old, like millions of people, like millions of social security checks are being sent out to these people. It's just a fucking lie. These people have no idea. They just fucking repeat what they've been told by fucking whoever the fuck, like whoever repeats these like the fucking Doge and the Elon Musk. He spent like a good fucking 5 minutes doing that. And there's no fucking truth to it whatsoever. because he doesn't fucking care. It just sounds good. So you might as well use that as a fucking talking point and rile up your base. So they start repeating the same shit too. Fucking like, yeah, we live in a fucking post-truth society. God damn it. It's just beyond infuriating.
All right. I don't know, man. Do you want to keep going? I kind of want to. I mean, maybe we can do another one this week if you want. I can do tomorrow or Thursday if you want, but I'm fucking exhausted. We've got some big news next week that will foreshadow. I have a huge announcement coming April 9th for your audience to pay attention to that we will gradually work our way up to, but that I'm working my tail off for. And that's soaking up all my time and energy. And like, I haven't even read the news today because I've been so busy with other crap. I'm basically coaching lacrosse and working on this project. He didn't say all of those people were getting Social Security checks. Megan, I can't deal with you right now. I can't deal with you right now, Megan. If you think that Trump is anything less than white trash Hitler, then you're in denial. I mean, this is fascism 101. The propaganda machine is in full swing. The stock market got destroyed today. And
it's not going to stop either.
You can like, conservatism is done. Like, that's what I'm worried about is that. Yeah. Thank you, Megan. That's why you tuned in for your commentary during. Okay, good. Well, I'm glad you're here. And I apologize if I'm not getting your views accurately, because that bums me out when people do that. But, my concern is that long term, this will be just another blip in the radar, and people are like, oh, well, there's still some good things about conservatism. No, MAGA being fascist is a verdict on the entire ideology of conservatism.
Yeah.
Conservatism doesn't work. Conservatism is wrong. Conservatism now, thanks to MAGA, is evil.
Yeah.
And have you heard, I mean, maybe we'll finish on this and then I'm going to run, but have you heard any lefties call MAGA evil? Like public political figures, like not commentators, like publicly, like Chris Murphy or AOC or Bernie, like, this is evil.
Yeah.
No,
I have not. Yeah. Nope. Yeah.
If they have, I mean, I hope they have, and I just haven't noticed because I'm a little bit disconnected right now, but sweet Jesus, man.
I mean, we got like Jasmine Crockett and Tim Waltz actually coming out and saying, like, yeah, they're fascists and they're Nazis.
Right.
It's like, yeah, like at the very least, they're adjacent to the ideology of fascism, of Nazism.
Right.
There's no getting around that. It's just like fucking scapegoat politics, like you said. That is their entire mode of function. Just like even tonight, he can't help himself, because that's the way Trump is. Just nothing but fucking grievances. You know, he just self-entitled, like, oh, it doesn't matter what I do, the Democrats won't fucking. The Democrats won't cheer for anything that I do because I'm me. It's just like, motherfucker, you've done nothing to earn their fucking respect. Like, you literally slander an entire demographic of people, an entire political party, anyone to the left of any fucking actual centrists, anyone to the left of fucking Liz Cheney or Mitt Romney as radical extremists and Marxists who sympathize with predators or fucking open borders bullshit or the invasion of our country by migrants. It's just like, if you're not even going to represent any of them fucking like accurately, why in the motherfuck should they respect you at all? Just like, yeah, it's just a self-entitlement. He's a fucking child. And God bless Al Green. Fucking, he's a
good
fucking
for him.
hero. That was great.
I would have, if I was on the left, I would have, as soon as they threw him out, everybody else should have gotten up and walked out. Like, why are you even in there? Get up and walk out. Make a point. Like, that's what bums me out about this goddamn parties. They don't know how to make a point.
Yeah. Yeah. And not everybody who could have been there was there. I don't believe AOC was even present, but yeah, it's just like, don't feed into it. Like, yeah, be there, just like hold your little signs and shit, but and whatever. But just like, just leave at some point, you know. Some people walked out wearing resistors. Yeah, like I closer to the end there,
Why
I
didn't they
saw.
all? Why didn't they
Yeah,
all in
they should have
one
all just
big
fucking left.
motion and flip him the bird on the way out? Like,
Because
no
they're all
more
about fucking
respect.
decorum and
Respecting
shit.
them is the problem.
Yes.
The respect is the problem. Do you
Yes.
respect a child throwing a hissy fit holding a gun? No, of course not.
Yeah.
Of course not. They are intellectually underdeveloped human beings.
Yeah. Do you
Enough.
respect someone who's like just constantly like hurling slander and smears and insults your way, misrepresenting you?
Of course
fucking
not.
Just claiming that you hold just like the most abhorrent positions, just completely straw manning you as a person, as a political party, your own fucking existence. Like like fucking bipartisanship is long past dead. If Democrats don't fucking learn that and learn from that, then there's not going to be any meaningful resistance to this shit at all. I mean, the best we can hope for is like fucking. It pains me as an empathetic person, but Trump's policies devastating like people's fucking lives, because like people are going to be hurt by these tariffs. Like
Yes.
there's no doubt about that whatsoever. Like he didn't back down from it, and neither did these fucking countries. Canada issued retaliatory tariffs. You want a trade war? Let's fucking go. I'm sorry, Americans. Like I don't know if you saw Justin Trudeau's address about it, but he's like we didn't want this. Like we're sorry to Americans, but this is all on Trump. Like your leadership did this, and so we have to protect ourselves.
Yes.
And so yeah, and like who would have fucking thought that this dictatorial, fascistic, fucking buffoon of a human being leading this country right now could have ushered in a newfound sense of Canadian national pride like we haven't seen before in our fucking lives, at least. Like fucking Doug Ford coming out and saying like, oh yeah, like he's the fucking conservative leader of Ontario, saying like we'll I'll turn off like our energy going into the United States with a smile on my face. Like they're not prepared. They're not prepared to fuck around. They're serious, and I don't blame them whatsoever, because this is the fucking dumbest fucking trade war in fucking history. And that's not just a quote from me. That's fucking Wall Street Journal saying that shit.
Well, we're going through a relapse. We're going through a relapse here, like an alcoholic addicted to alcohol or a drug addict addicted to heroin. We are going through our last high here, and I hope that we can get some new leadership within the Democratic Party that's gonna step up, because capitalism has failed. This version, I think we've talked about it before.
Just gonna get worse,
there
too.
might have been a version of capitalism that would have worked. There might have been. We'll never know, but as far as I'm concerned, American capitalism since 1980 has been in decline and is currently imploding. And, there's not much we can do about it, for now.
Right.
We got the midterms, but this next year is going to be really, really tough.
Right. You're saying, Megan, that Doug Ford apologized for saying that, the shutting off the energy thing. I mean, I knew Doug Ford was always a pussy, so I wouldn't be fucking surprised about that
all right,
at
dude,
all.
I'm gonna run. You should keep going. I'll listen to you and maybe get in your chat or something like that. But I got a few things to take care of before I head to bed, and I get an early morning tomorrow.
For sure. How did your DSA meeting go?
It went really well. Thank you for asking. Yeah, it went really well, and I'm hosting an event for them on Thursday. So,
nice.
Yeah. So it's good. And then we got that thing for the YouTube channel on Friday, if you can make it. I'll text you about
the Humus Report thing.
Yeah. But I don't know what your timing is like, but it would be cool if we could both make it. I might go to another event at 4, which gets out at 5:30, but we'll work it out, dude. We'll text about scheduling and stuff like that later.
Right. Yeah. Fortunately, I don't work Friday night, so I might be able to make that Zoom call.
That'd be sweet. That would be sweet to have you on there. I don't know if I can get on until 5:30 or 6.
For sure.
All right, brother. I'll talk
For
to you
sure.
soon. You
Of
should stay on
course.
and show
Yeah.
Megan some love. We love you, Megan.
Yes, big time. Big
All right.
time, a whole hell of a lot.
All right, brother. Talk to you later.
Of course. Have a good one. All right. I guess we should maybe finish the Zelensky thing. I don't know. It's starting to get somewhat interesting now. You know, it's about halfway in, so they're answering questions and shit. If you're still in here, make yourself known. Show me some love. I think I'm going to go grab a drink real quick. Oh, we got Bernie Sanders responding to the address. I guess we could watch that real quick. And you guys will feel better soon. What do you mean? Why can't I show these? What the hell? Hold on. This is weird. Huh. Trying to show your comment, Megan, and it's not. That was fucking weird. There it goes. Okay. What do you mean by this, Megan? I'll be right back and grab a drink, and then we'll watch Bernie's reaction to the address. Okay. Can you hear me? Okay. Obviously upset. You feel better soon. I will feel better when everyone involved in this administration vanishes off the face of the earth, hopefully in a very painful fashion. I don't know. The only time I'm not really feeling upset is when I'm not focused on anything politically related, because I'm just ashamed of this fucking country. I'm ashamed to be an American. I can't believe this is how we conduct ourselves. I just can't believe that this fucking bloviating child is our president yet again. I can't believe so many people are still following for his fucking other bullshit. Like, just talking a big game, and then in the background, he's just fucking deconstructing everything that is fucking nice and good for people. Like, oh, hi, Spinell. You guys want to see my cat? Hi, baby. Hey. Meow, 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 meow. Hi. Meow, meow, meow. Kitty, kitty. I'm enjoying it mostly. It's fucking horrifying. I don't know what there is to really enjoy about pretty much anything that the Trump administration is doing. Like, it's by far the most corrupt administration probably in the history of the whole White House. Like fuck off. No, she just wants to fucking caress my legs. She just wants to be down here. But yeah, like we're clearly beholden to Russian interests now, and I think that couldn't be more obvious given the reaction of like Russian state TV to the Zelensky meeting. Not to mention the fact that like basically everything's coming to fruition when it comes to the U.S. abandoning our partnerships with Europe in general. The fact that Zelensky is calling for an EU army because Europe understands they can't rely on the U.S. anymore. Like there's no reason to fucking trust us. It's just like we want American domination, but at the same time, it's like we're going to fucking tariff our allies. We're going to like economically punish them for no fucking reason. It doesn't make any fucking sense at all. Oh my god. I could probably go for another half hour, and then I gotta go pick up my roommate. God, that fucking address drained me. Equal tariffs. It's not for any reason. It's for fair trade. Okay, so did Canada already have 25% flat tariffs on American goods? Like, what's fair about what's going on? And not to mention, like, the USMCA was Trump's fucking deal to begin with. It's just like it just doesn't make any sense. All right. Canada already had the tariffs up to 260% of some American goods. I mean, we're talking about like all trade though, all trade between both countries. Like what Trump is doing is not targeted tariffs. That's what makes it so fucking ridiculous to begin with, because it's hurting people who especially don't need to be hurt. Like there's no rhyme or reason for it. It's like, oh, fentanyl. Ooh. Like as if it has anything to do with fucking the economics of it. Oh, we're being ripped off, and we're being taken advantage of for too long. It's just like, the fuck are you talking about? It's your deal. All right. Okay.
We're looking forward to finishing this quickly. We're not looking forward to sending a lot of arms. We're looking forward to getting the war finished so we can do other things. But we very much appreciate the agreement because we needed what they had, and we're treating, our country is now treated fairly. Biden didn't do that. He didn't know what the hell he was doing. This should have never happened. This should have never started. But, sure, the answer is yes, but hopefully we won't have to send much because I'm looking forward to getting it done.
My God.
This
for crying out loud,
game,
dude.
You're not ready.
Quickly, very quickly.
Does that mean provide security guarantees, Mr. President?
I don't want to talk about security yet because I want to get the deal done. You fall into the same trap like everybody else a million times. You say
Translation, nah, we're not going to secure their shit because I'm beholden to Putin.
it over and over. I want to get the deal done. Security is so easy. That's about 2% of the problem. I'm not worried about security. I'm worried about getting the deal done. The security is the easy part. Security is very nice. Everybody stop shooting. And now will Europe put people there? I know France is going to.
Yeah, he's going to go to the middle of Ukraine. He's going to go to the front lines. He's just going to tell both armies, the Russian army and the Ukrainian armies, stop shooting. Okay? Oh, my God.
I know the UK is going to. I know other countries are going to, and they happen to be right next door. We haven't committed, but we could conceivably.
The UK Prime Minister is going to show like, oi, mates, hold your fire, eh? Cry, blimey. Put down your bloody fucking weapons. I don't know. My British accent's not the best. It's just ridiculous.
Have security in a different.
Like he has such a child's understanding of foreign policy and geopolitics in general, which is why he's just doing what fucking Putin wants. Like Pete Hegseth, stopping all cyber warfare against Russia for no reason, yet Russia's still doing the same to us. Like, what? Why? Translation: it's just we will obviously want to provide security. Yeah, if the deal is done, then then that would be. Yeah, it of course it's a transaction and everything. It's not because oh, you guys were invaded and it was a unilateral illegal invasion by this other country. It's no, we want something out of you.
We'll have workers there digging, taking the raw earth so that we can create a lot of great product in this country. So in that sense, you have something, but we haven't determined that yet. I will say, in speaking to France and in speaking to, and they were here, as you know, last week and just the other day, they have committed to a lot of security. I don't think you're going to need much security. I think once this deal gets done, it's over. Russia's not going to want to go back, and nobody's going to want to go back. When this deal ends, I really believe this deal is going to be over.
Is it going to include Ukraine getting their land back that Russia currently owns, or not owns, controls, occupies?
Mr. President, thank you. We had U.S. Macron and Keir Starmer at the White House this past week, both of whom praised your courage and conviction to lead the pathway towards peace.
Yes.
Part of that involved, though, re-engaging Russia in diplomatic relations, and the previous leaders lacked the conviction to do so. What gave you the moral courage and conviction to step forward and lead that?
Well, I love this guy. Who are you with?
One American, sir.
Well, that's why I like him. One American does a great job. I like the question. I think it's a very good question. It's a pathway to peace.
Of course,
it's a pathway to getting something solved. And I feel that as the head of this country, I have an obligation to do that. Plus, we're very much involved. We got involved. It's too bad we got involved because there should have been no involved because there should have been no war. And there shouldn't have been October 7th. That would have never happened. As you know, Iran was broke. They had no money to give to Hezbollah. They had no money to give to Hamas.
Of course, it's
They were
just going off on fucking
and then on the fight, they
multiple
became rich as hell.
tangents.
They went from no money to $300 million in a period of 4 years. And they gave a lot of that money away, and you see what happened. And that's a real mess also that we hope to be able to solve. But no, I appreciate your question very much. I feel I have an obligation to try and do something to stop the death.
If I can answer. Yes, if I can answer. Sorry, please.
And I do like your clothing, by the way. You and I think he's a great guy, by the way. But I don't know if you two like each other, but you know what? I think
I like this guy.
I think he's dressed beautiful.
So I have more serious things than answer on side questions. I will answer on more serious questions if I can. Yeah. So please, about security guarantees and about just ceasefire. We can't just speak about ceasefire and speak. We'll not war. Just ceasefire.
I mean, think about it. This guy's been fucking the president of a country at war for 3 years. He's not here to just for the fluff or the fucking the vanity, so to speak. He's like, let's get fucking serious here.
Never war.
He's impatient for a reason, and I don't fault him.
I'm like the president. I have this experience, and not only me. Ukraine before my presidency, from the 2014, Putin broken 25 times. 25 times. He broke.
Yeah, multiple ceasefires broken by Russia. That's fucking inarguable. The Minsk agreements fell through, and it wasn't anything to salvage. And if fucking Russia's doing proxies in eastern Ukraine and shit, not to mention the annexation of Crimea, it's just there's literally no fucking question who the aggressor is.
Broken his own signature 25 times. He broke ceasefire.
He never broke to me. He never broke to me.
No, you were the president. You were the president.
He never broke to me.
In 2016, you've been the president, Mr. President. You've been the president, but he had, of course, not with you, but he had during those periods, he had conversations with our side, and we had Normandy format. The France, Germany, Ukraine, and Russia, and he broke them 25 times. That's why we will never accept just ceasefire. It will not work without security guarantees. Security guarantees, maybe the president is right about this document and other, but this document is not enough. Strong army is enough because his soldiers afraid, Putin's soldiers afraid of our soldiers when we're strong enough. If we are not strong enough, if we are empty, if our storage is empty, we can't defend our land. Today, he knows that we have, all the world knows that we have meeting. Yes? Why he's using ballistic? Putin today using ballistic on our hospital, schools, and it's ballistic. So he knows that we are here and that President Trump is really have goodwill to stop this war. And you hear it now, the president. So why he's using? So he doesn't want to stop. He doesn't want. But I hope that we will do it. Really, we'll do it. Security. When we speak about security guarantees, when the Europeans are ready for contingents, they need USA backstop.
Yeah, like anyone with like half a brain stem knows that Putin just can't be fucking trusted on this shit. Like he's a fucking monster. Like the amount of people that this invasion has killed, it's civilians alone, not to mention the amount of people displaced, is just it's appalling. Like to put it lightly.
If there will not be United States, we will never have any strong contingents from the Europeans, because they don't want to divide alliance connection between the United States, the main and strongest ally, and Europeans. And this is crucial. This is important. That's what we want to speak about very much. This is very important. And air defense. So air defense, really, we have big deficit with all the systems, and we need to provide this. We need it very much. Otherwise, Putin will never stop, and will go further and further. He doesn't. He hates us. You know, it's not about me. He hates Ukrainians. He thinks that we are not a nation. He thinks, and he shared this thoughts. I think maybe with your team also. I don't know, but with all the Europeans, in media, officially and not, he always said that there is no such country, such nation, such language, and such life like Ukrainian. No, he really doesn't respect all the Ukrainians, and he wants to destroy us.
Yeah.
What is the lemon law?
I don't give a shit.
And you're right, Mr. President. That's 2%. This document, maybe other documents. It's a very good start, very good, but it will not enough to stop this person. This is the rule of the war. This is the rule of the war. During all the centuries, all the history, this is the rule of the war. Who began, those pay. This is the rule. Putin began this war. He has to pay all money for innovation. He has to pay. Of course, some Russian assets, what we have in Europe, about 300 billion, we can use them. We can use for innovation and buy military support from the United States.
Yeah.
Also. We can do it, but it's not enough. It's not enough.
Because I wanted to know. Wait, what's that?
I asked this question that you didn't like because I wanted to know if you want to position yourself in the middle between Russia and Ukraine, or on the Ukraine side.
No, I'm in the middle. I want to solve this thing. I'm for both. I want to get it solved. And it's wonderful to speak badly about somebody else, but I want to get it solved. If we can solve it, great. If we can't solve it, they're going to have to fight it out, and who knows what's going to happen. But I want to see it get solved.
One more question about
that's kind of encouraging to
after
hear.
Russian invasion of Ukraine, your predecessor sent additional troops to Eastern Europe, including Poland, my country. Are you committed to keeping these troops on the eastern flank of NATO in the future?
I'm very committed to Poland. I think Poland has really stepped up and done a great job for NATO. As you know, they paid more than they had to. They are one of the finest groups of people I've ever known. I'm very committed to Poland. Poland's in a tough neighborhood, you know.
What about the Baltics?
The Baltics, it's a tough neighborhood too. But we're committed. We're going to be very committed, and we're committed to NATO. But NATO has to step up, and the Europeans have to step up more than they have. And I want to see them equalize, because they are in for far less than we're in, and they should be at least equal. You understand that? Why is the United States? We have an ocean in between. Why is the United States in for so much more money and other things as Europe? With that being said, and as you said, they've also been.
You're literally like the United States is just miles away from Russia. Like you can, it's like that Sarah Palin quote. I could see Russia from my house. I think that's the quote, because like Alaska is like right next to Russia. It's just like, motherfucker. North Atlantic. It's just the block of country. I'm trying to rationalize his fucking sheer stupidity, and like I'm realizing in real time just how fucking futile it is. Uninhabited areas. I mean, sure, I'm inhabited, but I have no doubt whatsoever. Actually, you know what? Still got an ocean between. Yeah, but like we're a lot closer to Russia than people think. Distance between Alaska and Russia, 55 miles is the narrowest point of the Bering Strait. Not to mention, West Alaska military bases. Excuse me. What are the military bases in Alaska? Give me a map. How about a map? I'm actually interested in this. Military installations in Alaska. Yeah, it's not giving me. Oh, wait, actually, maps for each one. Not to leave the site. Okay. Okay, it looks like most of the bases are actually in central, like east central Alaska. Yeah, because I've typed in West Alaska, but anyway, couple islands in between. That's right. That is right. Not to mention what else? What else was I saying? Okay. Oh yeah. No, that was it. Yeah. Okay.
Obviously very helpful, but we have put in far more than they have, and I think they should equalize.
What changed between the first time that Secretary Besson gave President Zelensky the agreement and today for the signing?
We made a deal.
What was that?
I'm a business person. We made a deal. That's what changed. I didn't think we were going to make a deal, and we ended
It's not about fucking business. It's not about fucking business. Government is not about business. Fucking strategic alliances, military alliances, and shit. Partnerships between entire governments, entire nations is not about fucking business. Especially in terms of fucking war, where lives are at stake. Christ, dude. Fuck this guy.
I don't know, but well, they don't like each other. I can tell you that. They do not like each other. This is not a love match, and it's unfortunate. That's why you're in this situation. The United States should not have allowed this to happen. Okay, the United States, run by a man that didn't know much. I'm going to be very nice. Run by an incompetent person, very incompetent person, should never have allowed this to happen.
Okay, Zelensky's
I stopped
like,
wars. I
what?
stopped many
No.
wars. And people will tell you I stopped wars that nobody ever heard about. I stopped wars before they ever started. You can look at some of. I could give you a lot of nations that would tell you right now they were probably going to war. I can tell you right now there's a nation thinking about going to war on something that nobody in this room has ever even heard about. Two smaller nations, but big, still big. And I think I've stopped it. But this should have never happened.
Sorry, just a second. About any negotiations. First of all, I want really to tell you, and I think that everybody understands that Ukraine, more than Ukrainians, nobody wants to stop this war. But in the future, any negotiations, it's understandable that two sides of the war, not Russia and the United States, because this is not the war between Russia and the United States. This is war of Russia against Ukraine and Ukrainian people. So these two sides will be at will be at the negotiation table. Then of course, United States.
I think this guy looks a lot tougher in his actual like current outfit than he would in a fucking monkey suit, like an American style fucking suit and tie. Like there's no doubt.
Like the strongest partner of the Ukraine, and of course Europe. I think Europe is very important. I want to speak about it with the president. Yes, Europe is very important for us because we really defend Europe today. All Europeans really recognize that we are defending the line, and they have real life. And our people are dying. That's why they helped us. And I want to speak about it with the president. Yes, Europe is very important for us because we really defend Europe for today. All Europeans really recognize that we are defending the line, and they have real life, and our people are dying. That's why they helped us. And also, it's about the NATO. Yes, between, like the president said, you have big, nice ocean. Yes. Between us, but if we will not stay, Russia will go further to Baltics and to Poland, by the way, but first to the Baltics. It's understandable for them because they've been in the USSR. You know, they've been one of the republics of the USSR, and Putin wants to bring them back to his empire.
Yes,
and when he will go there,
yes, fucking understand this. This is fucking. They openly admit this. They openly say this shit.
You will fight. You're American soldier. It doesn't matter. Do you have ocean or not? Your soldiers will fight.
Mr. President, would you want to visit Ukraine? Maybe Kyiv or Odessa, which is going to be a 30-year-old legacy?
It was my question.
I don't want to talk about Odessa now. Let's not talk about Odessa. I want to talk about.
If a man really hated ads, here's what he would do. Day one, he would install Pi on his computer without spending a dime.
I would switch my other account, not my political account, because my personal account actually has premium.
To talk about Odessa, but a lot of cities have been destroyed. A lot of cities that are not recognizable. There's not a building standing.
And
a lot of things have
you have to come and to look. No. We have very good cities. Yes, a lot of things have been destroyed, but mostly cities alive and people work and children go to school. Sometimes it's very difficult. Sometimes closer to front line, children have to go to underground schools or online. But we live. Ukraine is fighting and Ukraine lives. This is very important. And maybe it's Putin is sharing this information that he destroyed us. He lost 700,000 people. 700,000 soldiers. He lost everything. Yes. So.
Mr. President, more. When did you last speak with President Putin? And what did he say?
A couple of days ago.
And what did he tell you that gave you the assurance that he wanted peace?
Well, that's what I do. My whole life is deals. I know pretty good. And I've known him for a long time. I've dealt with him for a long time. He had to suffer through the Russia hoax. You know, Russia was a hoax. It was all Biden. It was nothing to do with him. So he had to suffer through that, and he was able to do that. I think that he wants to make a deal. And he'd like to see it.
How much of your administration during your first term were charged because of, you know, corruption and so-called deals between them and Russia and shit? Like there's clearly something to that shit.
And that's all I do. That's what I do my whole life. That's what I do is make deals. And I'm in the middle of a mess because this is a real mess. It's a very dangerous one. If this doesn't get solved now, it's not going to get solved for a long time. So I hope we're going to get it solved. In the back, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Prime Minister Farmer claims repeatedly that his government believes in free speech and is not engaged in censorship. But his country is government arrest people for memes and thought crimes, and even more worrisome is pressuring American companies to censor Americans on his behalf. How can he be a reliable, trustworthy partner when he says things that are demonstrably false on such important topics?
Well, we actually spoke to him about that yesterday, and we thought they took it very, very much too far. JD was very strong on it. So was I. And so was Marco, and we've been speaking to him about it. Marco, would you like to say something about it?
We have concerns, obviously, with the conduct of those, particularly as it impacts Americans. And there's real concern that American speech, which is online, could fall into the hands of British or any country's jurisdiction. And so this is a point the Vice President made in Munich, and I think it's a very compelling one that what unites us with Europe, as much as anything else, is these shared values, and one of them being free speech. And so if Americans are threatened by it, we're going to need to take action in that regard.
It's actually a very important question.
We spoke about this in detail with the Prime Minister, the Foreign Secretary, and others at lunch yesterday. And I know that Secretary of Commerce Letnick followed up in private meetings last night. This is really important. We believe Americans have the right to speak their mind, even if we in this room disagree with them. They have the right to speak their mind in the public square, which is often online these days. And we're going to defend that right as it pertains to American companies and American citizens vigorously if we have to. I do think that under the President's leadership, we're going to find common ground with our friends in the UK on this question, but it remains to be seen. The principle that will guide us is we believe in free speech in this country and we'll fight for it for American citizens.
Mr. President, on the deal, is there any other oil and gas component to the deal? Is it all
A little bit. We'll see.
on LNG?
But we're not really looking for that so much. We got a lot. We have more than anybody in the world by far. So no, we're not talking about it too much, but a little bit. I think it affects also, but for the most part, no.
Is there any agreement from Ukraine to purchase U.S. LNG as part of the deal, or is that on the table at all?
No, we don't need that.
Mr. President, I was ask you about, you just mentioned that you guys spoken to Vladimir Putin a couple of days ago. Just to be clear, that's a new call, not the one.
I've spoken to him on numerous occasions.
Okay. How was the latest call? What did you discuss? How did it go?
Are you serious with that question? It went well. I think we're going to have a deal.
On the minerals deal, Mr. President, some of those minerals are in the east of Ukraine, not far from the front lines and in areas that Russia has occupied. Will you direct President Putin to withdraw his forces from those areas if you're U.S. interest?
Well, we'll take a look at the time. We have a lot of area. It's a very big area we're talking about. So we'll take a look. I'll study that and I'll see.
And who would protect those minerals if they are U.S.
I can slow it down if you want, Megan. The guy before this lady asked about like the Putin phone call, how it went, what they discussed, and this lady is talking about the minerals on the front lines, and if Trump would order the if Trump would have Russia pull their troops back, so that way, you know, the minerals on the front lines and whatnot can be controlled by Ukraine and protected by U.S. security or Ukrainian security or whatever. You're already seen it. You watched it twice. Okay. All right. I've never seen it, but like I'm just used to listening to things really fast because on days that I consume a lot of political content and shit, I actually make sure to have it on like a fast speed. I'm able to process it quickly, and it helps me get through videos quicker. So I can move on to other videos and shit, I guess. All right.
interest? Would that be Ukrainian
They'll be
forces?
protected. The agreement will protect them.
US
The agreement, yeah, we're signing an agreement.
But what if Russia tries to invade or there's Russian aggression in response?
I just told you, I don't think that's going to happen. And if that were going to happen, I wouldn't make a deal. If I thought that was going to happen, I wouldn't make a deal.
Some people may wonder
You
why.
know, you ought to focus on CNN on survival, not asking me these ridiculous questions. Focus on survival. CNN takes such low ratings. I don't think they're going to survive. Let's go.
God,
Poland
fucking
was
clown.
under Russian control for decades after the Second World War. When I was a kid, I looked at the United States not only as a most powerful country, richest country in the world, the country that has great music, great movies, great muscle cars, but also as a force for good.
Yeah.
And now I'm talking with my friends in Poland, and they are worried that you align yourself too much with Putin. What's your message for them?
Well, if I didn't align myself with both of them, you'd never have a deal. You want me to say really terrible things about Putin and then say, hi, Vladimir, how are we doing on the deal? That doesn't work that way. I'm not aligned with Putin. I'm not aligned with anybody. I'm aligned with the United States of America and for the good of the world. I'm aligned with the world. And I want to get this thing over with. You see the hatred he's got for Putin. It's very tough for me to make a deal with that kind of hate. He's got tremendous hatred. And I understand that, but I can tell you.
Yeah, I mean, you fucking get your country invaded by him and fucking hundreds of people, hundreds of thousands of your own people needlessly die. It's just like, I would probably hate him too. But like, what the fuck would Trump know about that?
The other side isn't exactly in love with, him either. So it's not a question of alignment. I'm aligned with the world. I want to get the thing set. I'm aligned with Europe.
How many ads does this shit need to
I want to
have?
see if we can get this thing done. You want me to be tough? I could be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. I'd be so tough. but you're never going to get a deal that way. So that's the way it goes. All right, one more question.
I have to respond to this. So look, for 4 years in the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin, and then Putin invaded Ukraine and destroyed a significant chunk of the country. The path to peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy. We tried the pathway of Joe Biden of thumping our chest and pretending that the president of the United States' words mattered more than the president of the United States' actions. What makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy. That's what President Trump is doing.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So he occupied our parts, big parts of Ukraine, part of East and Crimea. So he occupied it on 2014. So during a lot of years, I'm not speaking about just Biden, but those time was Obama, then President Trump, then President Biden, now President Trump, and God bless, now President Trump will stop him. But during 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied and took. He killed people. You know what they contact?
2015.
2014 is
2014.
Yeah. So
I was not here.
Yeah, but
exactly right.
Yes, but during 2014 till 2022, the situation the same. The people have been dying on the contact line. Nobody stopped him. You know that we had conversations with him, a lot of conversations, my bilateral conversation, and we signed with him. Me, like a new president in 2019, I signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel. We signed ceasefire. All of them told me that he was with me, like a new president in 2019. A lot of conversation, my bilateral conversation, and we signed with him. Me, like a new president in 2019, I signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel. We signed ceasefire. All of them told me that he will never go. We signed him with gas contract. Yes, but after that, he broke the ceasefire. He killed our people, and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about?
Okay. He has a fucking point here. It's like, okay, let me actually look up this ceasefire deal real quick. 2019 multilateral Russia ceasefire deal, Ukraine. In December 20, the Minsk agreement. This is what I'm fucking talking about. In December 2019, Ukraine and Russia. Let me actually pull this up here. Actually, let me go ahead and do the do. All right, right here. Yes. December 2019, Ukraine and Russia agreed to implement a full and comprehensive ceasefire. The agreement followed prisoner swaps and the withdrawal of Ukrainian military in 3 areas. The two sides agreed to swap the remaining prisoners and disengage military forces in 3 additional regions. According to Zelensky, there is also progress with the issue of gas exports. Russia and Ukraine could not agree on the issues of the withdrawal of Russian-backed troops and the elections of in the separatist-held regions. So yeah, no, this fell the fuck apart. Obviously, the let's see, June 2021, Biden and Putin agreed to pursue diplomacy related to the Minsk agreement. Excuse me. Normally, the format meeting was planned. So yeah, it was under Trump where they agreed to do the ceasefire. So yeah, the Minsk agreements. Yeah, so yeah, it just fell the fuck apart. Anyway, all right, let's get back to this. It's got to be a more efficient way of switching tabs like this.
But he will never go. We signed him with gas contract. Yes, but after that, he broke the ceasefire. He killed our people, and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come to the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring it into this conflict.
Oh my God!
What problems we have?
I have been to. I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens as you bring people. You bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President.
Go to Ukraine, JD. Alt tab. No. I'm talking about through StreamYard. That's what I'm referring to. Which tabs to show through StreamYard. But yeah.
Do you disagree?
JD's getting a little upset here. It's like, well, okay, let's actually rewind this real quick because, like,
What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you are
Mr.
not
President,
strong-
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come to the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media.
You're educating these people about the Minsk agreements and how Russia violated them, and I can't let you do that. We actually like Russia quite a lot.
Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems.
You're going to lobby those same exact criticisms to Vladimir Putin, who have lost 850,000 young soldiers. Well, young and old, but a lot of those were fucking conscripts.
You should be thanking the president for trying to bring it into this.
A hell of a lot of them, actually.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Count once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people in your military? And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning. Sure. First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You
God bless. You will not have war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that. Remember this. You're in no position.
The fucking, like, dude. What the fuck, Trump? It's like, he's saying, at what point is Russia going to stop? Like, what comes after Ukraine, dummy?
To dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good. We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about
it. From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards.
Trump, shut up. Shut the fuck up and let him talk.
Right now. With us, you start having cards. Right now, you don't have to play cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling.
Yeah, no, fucking Trump is the one fucking losing his temper here. He's just like, he won't shut up now, and now he's on a whole fucking rampage. Like, he just won't even let him talk now. It's like, fucking all the people who are defending Trump and Vance and shit. It's just like, are we even watching the same goddamn thing?
With World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. It's back to you. Far more than a lot of people said they should have.
Have you said thank you once? This
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire
today.
meeting, you said thank
Even
you.
today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposite.
Why aren't you kissing our ass? Have you kissed our ass once? Have you gotten down on your knees and kissed the toes of my boots? Fucking, have you licked our dicks even just for a microsecond since you got here? Zelensky, hello.
Opposition in October, offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you
He's
can
not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country's in big trouble.
That's not what he means. Oh my god, he won't even let him fucking. You won't even let him fucking finish.
Wait a minute. No, you've done a lot of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not winning. You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of coming out okay because of
Mr.
us.
President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
You haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet.
You haven't been alone.
In this
We
cabinet.
gave you, through
I
this
said
stupid president, $350 billion.
You
We
voted
gave
for
you
your
military
president.
equipment,
You
and you
voted for
men are
your
brave, but they had to use our military
What
equipment.
about
If you didn't have
You
our
invited
military
me-
equipment,
you invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak.
have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3
okay?
days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days, this is something
Maybe
new.
less.
In 2 weeks.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, it's just like, well, Putin said it's just a 3-day operation. Oh, never mind, it's gonna be 2 weeks. It's been 3 fucking years, dude. It's like fucking goddamn.
Of course, yes.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this. I can tell you.
Just say thank you.
I said it a lot of times.
Accept that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong.
Jesus
we know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on. I think it's
What
very
is
important. That's
he
why I
wrong
think it's
about?
going so long.
Name one fucking goddamn wrong thing that Zelensky has said.
You have to be thankful. You don't have the cards. You're buried there. Your people are dying.
tell you
You're
again,
running low
I
on
know.
soldiers. Listen,
Don't
you're
please,
running
Mr.
low
President.
on soldiers. It would be a damn good thing.
Mr.
Then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go and I want this. Look, If you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're saying you don't want a
but I
ceasefire?
said to you,
I want a
with
ceasefire
guarantees.
because you get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't
Doesn't
with
matter
me.
for you what-
That wasn't with me. That was with a guy named Biden who was not a smart person. That was with Obama.
It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful, because let me tell you, you don't have the guards. With us, you have the guards, but without us, you don't have any
I think Trump needs a nap.
guards.
One more question to the Vice President. Sorry.
It's going to be a tough deal to make because the attitudes have to change.
What if Russia breaks ceasefire? What if Russia breaks?
We're Phoenix Energy, a family-owned oil company focused on unleashing American oil from North Dakota and Montana.
What is them? I understand that it's a heated conversation right
What are you
now.
saying?
She's asking, what if Russia breaks the ceasefire?
Well, what if anything? What if a bomb drops on your head right now? Okay? What if they
Oh
break?
my God! Yeah, it's like fucking Trump. Oh my God! It's so clear. It's so fucking transparent. It's like Trump can't keep his fucking cool at all. Like what? How does anyone look at this guy and think, oh yeah, this guy's a great leader. This guy, fucking God.
They broke
damn
it with Biden because Biden, they didn't respect him. They didn't respect Obama. They respect me. Let me tell you, Putin went through a hell of a lot with me. He went through a phony witch hunt where they used him and Russia. You ever hear of that deal? That was a phony Hunter Biden, Joe Biden scam. Hillary Clinton, Shifty Adam Schiff. It was a Democrat scam. And he had to go through that. And he did go through it. We didn't end up in a war. And he went through it. He was accused of all that stuff. He had nothing to do with it. It came out of Hunter Biden's bathroom. It came out of Hunter Biden's bedroom. It was disgusting. And then they said, oh, the laptop from hell was made by Russia. The 51 agents. The whole thing was a scam.
Like
and he had to put up with
fucking
that. He was being
toddler,
accused of all
dude.
that stuff. All I can say is this. He might have broken deals with Obama and Bush, and he might have broken them with Biden. He did, maybe. Maybe he didn't. I don't know what happened. But he didn't break them with me. He wants to make a deal. I don't know if he can make a deal. The problem is I've empowered you to be a tough guy. And I don't think you'd be a tough guy without the United States. I mean, your people are very brave. But you're either going to make a deal or we're out. And if we're out, you'll fight it out.
The thing is, he's going for a deal that benefits Russia when they don't deserve it. You know, like he it's just a kowtowing to Putin and his ambitions. You know, complaining about potentials to justify their continued deaths. I don't know about that. I mean, clearly, I mean, if Russia, for instance, actually cared about the potential death, then like they wouldn't empty out their prisons. They wouldn't send out conscripts. They wouldn't implement a draft to get people on the front lines, untrained soldiers and whatnot. Why would you choose the word deserve in regards to Russia? Because they fucking invaded Ukraine. Like what kind of deal do you think they deserve? Like what should Russia get out of this? Like I just don't understand the position of Trump and Vance. You know, I mean, them meeting with Russia alone and Saudi Arabia to negotiate a fucking end to the Ukraine war without even Ukraine being present at all, or any European leaders. It's just like, why? You're rewarding the aggressor. Like, if you're going to be diplomatic, why not include the people involved? It's just they say they want a deal, but like as long as the deal is like equitable between both sides, like what exactly would that look like? Russia keeps all the territory that it's gained. They keep the Donbass. They keep they keep Crimea. People avoid to join Russia. I heard that those elections were sketchy at best, but I know what you're talking about. And also really, and I also don't really buy the fact that the idea that those regions voted to join Russia, given the fact that they were in proxy wars for the past decade to begin with. You know, I don't know. Hard to say there's violating the deal versus the one who rejected the results. Was it the election like the people that voted to join? Wasn't that within wasn't that during the war? I mean, I think even the UN, I think a lot of the international community even looked at that as no, that's bullshit. There's no oversight. May 2014. On 2014 election. Donbass general elections. Presidential election had been held on May 25th. Oh, look at this. Okay, hold on. So, the 2014 Donbass general elections in Ukraine as a whole, following the February 2014 revolution, presidential election had been held on the 25th of May, and parliamentary elections on October 26th. DPR and LPR authorities blocked these elections in the areas that they control. Those authorities had previously held largely unrecognized referendums on the 11th of May to approve the establishment of the two republics. So they were, let's look at these referendums right here. Status referendums. Donetsk and Luhansk oblasts. Parts of Ukraine together make the Donbass region. So legitimacy, allegations of fraud. Security Service of Ukraine released an audio recording on May 5th that they said was a phone call between a Donetsk separatist leader named Dima Boytsov and the leader of the far-right paramilitary Russian National Unity Group, Alexander Barkashov. In the recording, Boytsov said he wanted to postpone the referendum due to the DPR's inability to control all of the Donetsk oblasts. Barkashov said that he had communicated with Putin and insisted Boytsov hold the referendum regardless of the separatist leaders' concerns. So because the DPR couldn't control the Donetsk, all of the region that's holding this referendum, they went through with it regardless. He suggested that Boytsov tabulated the results as 89% in favor of autonomy, and this has three different sources here. Yeah, I remember this being talked about when the war broke out, and separatists state that the recording was fake. However, if the 89% mentioned on the phone call, it exactly matched that result of the referendum. So, yeah, it was more than likely completely fraudulent, and Russia played a big part in that. Revolution. If we run out of time. Before I run out of time? What do you mean? Oh yeah, I do gotta go pick up my roommate here pretty soon. Ukraine sues against the Constitution to have only the locals vote. Yeah, from what I understand, if I'm reading this article right, they the DPK and what the hell is it called? The fucking Donetsk and Luhansk regions ignored the general election entirely. They didn't even participate in the fucking goddamn it. Let's see, hold on. Yeah, the authorities in those regions blocked those elections in the the presidential elections and the parliamentary elections in those areas that they controlled. So yeah, Ukraine has just had nothing but issues with those regions for a while, and it's like, yeah, I mean, with encroaching Russian influence in those regions for years and years and years, even before the annexation of Crimea and the 2014 revolution. Yeah, I mean, it's just a fucking mess. All right, one more minute.
I don't think I've empowered you to be a tough guy. And I don't think you'd be a tough guy without the United States. And your people are very brave. But you're either going to make a deal or we're out. And if we're out, you'll fight it out. I don't think it's going to be pretty, but you'll fight it out. But you don't have the cards. But once we sign that deal, you're in a much better position. But you're not acting at all thankful. And that's not a nice thing. I'll be honest, that's not a nice thing. All right, I think we've seen enough. What do you think? Huh? This is going to be great television, I will say that. We'll see what we can do about putting it. Thanks. We'll see.
Absolutely pathetic. All right. Well, yeah, I mean, that was largely embarrassing. Yeah, the whole world is just tearing out their fucking hair right now. Face palming, sulking. It's like, how can any leader of any country behave like this? You know. I did say, I know, I'm sorry, that I was going to cover Bernie Sanders reacting to the address. Let me actually see real quick if I still need to go pick up my roommate. Because I think if not, then I can probably go ahead and pull up Bernie's response. I think I might actually just be able to do it right here. Response to Trump's congressional actions. Okay, 20 minutes. All right. Fuck it. I might as well get started on it. All right. Bernie, give me a little bit of hopium. I think it's what we all need.
Of the big lie, and boy, did we hear that tonight. Is through the concept of the big lie, and boy, did we hear that.
Oh, wow. It's not even... Whatever.
Tonight. You say something that is grossly false, say it over and over again, and have right-wing social media blast it out endless times until people actually believe it.
He's spitting. He's speaking my language. This is exactly what I've been fucking saying.
And then, rather than address the real issues facing the American people, the struggles that the American people are facing, we find ourselves wasting endless amounts of time discussing Trump's absurdities. Let me just give you a very few examples. Trump claimed that the 2020 election was stolen from him and that he won by a landslide. Remember that? A lie. Trump claimed that the January 6th insurrection was a day of love. A lie. Trump has claimed that millions of undocumented people voted and do vote in American elections. A lie. Trump has claimed that climate change is a hoax originating in China. A lie. Trump has claimed that Ukraine started the horrific war with Russia. A lie. And tonight.
Perfect. My roommate gets off in 20 minutes. Perfect amount of fucking time. Let's do it.
Just tonight. Trump claimed that millions of dead people between the ages of 100 and 360, I guess, were collecting Social Security checks.
Yeah, he did say that.
And that is an outrageous lie intended to lay the groundwork for cuts to Social Security.
Bingo. Yeah, it's another one of fucking the smoke screens put up by Doge to justify unnecessary cuts that they try to frame as waste, fraud, and abuse. You know, got to pave the way for those fucking $4.5 trillion tax cuts and those fucking cuts to Medicaid. Fucking nobody's asking for.
And dismantling the most successful and popular government program in history. So let's be clear about that. Well over 99% of Social Security checks are going out to people who earned those checks. 70 million Americans. Nobody who was 150 years old or 200 years old or 300.
Lesotho comment was, oh, what? What does that mean?
100 years old is receiving Social Security checks. And on the lies go. Now, the purpose of all of this lying is not just to push his hateful right-wing ideology. It is not just to try to divide us up. It is more than that. It is a masterful effort, and you saw that tonight, to deflect attention away from the most important issues facing the people of our country.
It's one of the Doge things in Trump's speech. What's Lesotho, though? I've heard that word before. I'm just not exactly sure specifically.
Issues to push his hateful right-wing ideology. It is not just to try to divide us up. It is more than that. It is a masterful effort, and you saw that tonight, to deflect attention away from the most important issues facing the people of our country.
One of the many things that... the thing about like a lot of the things he named off, I'm sure not only like a third of them is probably like true and ridiculous. Another third is like, no, there's actually something to this, and there's a reason why this funding is going in. It's to ensure this kind of hegemony, like this American influence over this region or something, some sort of deal or something. And another third of it is just like a complete misrepresentation or just complete fabrication. That's what I think. Was the leader Trump said no one's ever heard of. Yeah. I mean, yeah. If that was one of the fucking most infuriating moments if you were listening to the stream. It's like anti-intellectualism is just so back in style, and who better to front the movement than Donald fucking Trump?
Issues that Trump and his billionaire friends do not want to address because it is not in their financial interests to do so. Trump gave his State of the Union speech tonight. But if you listen closely, that speech had very little to say about the State of the Union, about what is really going on in our country, especially for working families.
Yeah.
Trump spoke for over 90 minutes, although I must confess it seemed a lot longer than that.
Yeah, it sure fucking did. This poor 83-year-old guy.
And he almost completely ignored the issues that are keeping working people up at night as they worry about how their families are going to survive.
Well, yeah, but like, so like it was the way that like Trump went about it. It's like, just be a little bit more considerate, Trump. Like, if people don't know, just like, I don't know. There's such little consideration in the Trump administration when he's supposed to be like the leader of the free world. The president, I believe, is supposed to be a brilliant person. It's there's no denying that like that is just completely absent in someone like Trump.
These very tough times. And I will tell you exactly why Trump had very little to say about the real crises facing the working class of this country. Think back 6 weeks ago when Trump was inaugurated for his second term as president, just 6 weeks ago. Standing right behind him were the three wealthiest men in this country, Mr. Musk, Mr. Bezos, and Mr. Zuckerberg. And standing behind them were 13 other billionaires who Trump had nominated to head major government agencies. Many of these same billionaires, including Musk, were in the Capitol tonight listening to that speech. In other words, it is there for all to see. The Trump administration is not hiding it. The Trump administration is a government of the billionaire class, by the billionaire class, and for the billionaire class.
Yeah.
Notwithstanding some of their rhetoric, this is a government that could care less about ordinary Americans and the working families of our country. My friends, We are no longer moving toward oligarchy. We are living in an oligarchic society.
Yep.
Now let's take a moment and try to escape from Trump's parallel universe, the universe that you heard tonight. And let's do something really, really radical. Let's actually take a hard look at the problems that Americans are facing. Today, 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Unlike Trump, I grew up in a family that lived paycheck to paycheck, and I know something about that reality. It means that every day, millions of Americans worry about how they're going to pay their rent, pay for childcare, pay for a doctor's visit when they get
Fucking my household is paycheck to paycheck.
sick. They worry about what happens when their car breaks down and they can't afford the $1,000 it costs to get it fixed. And what happens when they can't get to work because they don't have a car. They worry about how they can afford to buy healthy food for their kids when the price of food is off the charts. Funny? I heard Trump speaking for 90 minutes tonight. I didn't hear one word from him about the economic reality facing 60% of our people. Or the
I fucking love how pissed he is. Like, this is the Bernie Sanders I fell in love with in 2015.
enormous stress that they are living under. 90-minute speech, not one word about the economic reality facing American workers. But that's not all.
Yeah.
Today in America, everyone knows that our healthcare system is broken. It is dysfunctional, and it is outrageously expensive. We remain the only wealthy nation on earth not to guarantee healthcare for all. Mr. President, you really want to make America great again? Then make sure that every American, regardless of income, can go to a doctor or a hospital and not worry about how they're going to pay the bills. President Trump, healthcare is a human right. I didn't hear one word from you, not one word. Over 90-minute speech, not one word from you about the healthcare crisis that is impacting many, many millions of our people. Nor did I hear you say why we pay by far the highest prices in the world for prescription drugs, sometimes 10 times more than the people in other countries, and why 1 out of 4 Americans are unable to afford the prescriptions their doctors.
Yeah, Trump didn't speak on anything on healthcare because he doesn't care about healthcare. He has concepts of a plan, remember? He was never going to replace Obamacare because he didn't have a fucking plan to replace it with. He absolutely spoke on the economic reality of facing Americans. I mean, yeah, he alluded to it. Like, what exactly? Like, all he said about it was like, I mean, I'm gonna bring the prices down, or we're gonna fix it, and just like no actual policy ideas. He didn't actually point to anything. He doesn't even like. If Trump was honest, he'd acknowledge like the current economic crash that's upon us. Feeble man rat. Yeah, that's poor Bernie. People being crushed by again true baby drill. That's not going to bring inflation down. And not to mention like what's the current inflation rate? Current inflation rate 3.0%, and it's been, let's see. The annual inflation rate, okay. Since July of 2024, the inflation rate has been under 3%. It got as low as 2.4% in September. Like, and I don't know how many economic channels you guys watch or financial advice, financial channels in general that you guys watch, but we're very likely headed towards stagflation, if not a deflationary spiral, due to the impending economic recession that's very much on its way. And depending on how bad it is or how bad it's going to get, is going to it's going to depend on the economic results of these very fucking stupid tariffs that Trump is just throwing the fuck out there and threatening to do more of come April. But it's going to get really, really rough. Like the Atlanta Fed projected that like by the end of March, first quarter of 2025, negative 2.8% GDP. That's recession territory. If that keeps up in the second quarter, then we're in deep shit. Just so you guys know, the price of everything is not going to go back down. That's just not how it works. Sure, our purchasing power may improve, possibly, perhaps, but if these, I mean, they're not at this point because the tariffs are going through. So all the goods that we get, we're going to have to pay more of, like for imports, and of course, with retaliatory tariffs. We're just gonna be paying more for groceries and for gas and shit. So I mean, at this point, it doesn't even really matter if inflation goes down to like even like deflationary levels. It's people are going to lose their jobs. People people that hold businesses and companies can't afford to hold on to their workforce anymore. There's going to be mass layoffs. Unemployment's going to go up. It's going to be messy. Do you import your groceries? A lot of the groceries I buy are imports. Yes. I think that's the case for a whole hell of a lot of people around the country. Ew. What do you mean? Okay, Megan, you know that there's a lot of stuff in America that's not grown here, right? My local fan. I mean, I guess. I mean, local's usually more expensive, but I mean, I'll have to weigh my options given the impending tariffs and shit. I wish I had more fucking time. I watch a Bell video about the coming inflation numbers and shit.
Prescribed. Not one word about the outrageously high cost of prescription drugs. Mr. President, we have nearly 800,000 Americans who are homeless. Over 20 million of our people spend more than half of their limited income on housing. We have
thanks, Reagan.
A major housing crisis in America. Everyone knows it, apparently, except you, because in your speech tonight, I didn't hear you mention the housing crisis.
Yeah, why is a 1,000 square foot 2-bed 1-bath in the rural outskirts of town on a small property for sale for $450,000? Fuck me, dude.
Today in America, we have more income and wealth inequality than we've ever had. 3 richest people in America, the folks Trump invited to stand behind him at his inauguration, now own more wealth than the bottom half of our society, 170 million Americans. Did anyone out there hear one word from the President of the United States on that enormously important issue, which gets to the very fabric of our society? So few owning so much, while so many people suffer. And here's something else the President forgot to discuss. Not only is our life...
Well, what kind of regulations, though, Megan? Are there regulations on buying houses in bulk? Because what's that company? Blackstone? BlackRock or something? I'm sure when a lot more people lose their houses, and if there's no regulations on, if there's less regulations on purchasing houses and shit, what's going to stop a big conglomerate's worth trillions, or if not hundreds of billions, from just buying houses in bulk? BlackRock, no real regulations on that. I mean, then like what's stopping them? I mean, this has been the fear for a while. Let's see. Removing illegal immigrants improves housing in U.S. By reducing the labor force, stepped-up immigration enforcement would slow down construction and increase home prices, and could even reduce job opportunities for U.S. citizens. Study finds from the University of Utah. Huh. Interesting. Well,
expectancy 4 years lower than other wealthy countries. The bottom 50% in this country, the working class of America, on average, live 7 years shorter lives than the top 1%. Got that? In other words, Being poor or working class in this country today is a death sentence. Did you hear any discussion tonight as to why so many of our people are living shorter lives than they should? During his speech tonight, Trump did not have one word to say about how we are going to address the planetary crisis of climate change. The last 10 years, as most Americans know, have been the warmest ever recorded, and extreme weather disturbances and natural disasters have been taking place all over the world, from California to India, across Europe to North Carolina. And yet, not surprisingly, Trump had nothing to say about climate change except, I guess, drill, baby, drill. Well, that's going to help a whole lot. And let's be clear.
Yeah, no kidding, Bernie. Can't pay 5 people's worth of rent on a 2-bedroom when they're not in the country. Increases availability of the current supply at 2 different points. I mean, are they renting though, or are they buying? Like, do illegal immigrants own these homes? I don't. Shorter lives thing. Talk about the chemical cause of the brain cancer thing. Oh yeah, and if you guys were if you were watching my coverage of that, we talked about the fact that like, for every regulation Biden put in place, I want to sign away 2 regulations, just deregulating for deregulation's sake. I wonder how much of that includes the EPA and regulations of corporations and companies to not pollute however much they want. I'm sure that's going to help a whole lot of communities exposed to toxic chemicals and shit. And they say, yeah, that's true.
Not only did Trump fail to talk about some of the most important issues facing the working class of America, but the solutions, in quote, he proposed would only make a bad situation even worse. Yep, I did hear Trump talk tonight about some tax breaks for working families in terms of not taxing tips, not taxing Social Security, and not taxing overtime. Fine. But that is chump change compared to the benefits he's going to give to the 1%. And it doesn't tell the whole story about his tax policies. According to a recent study by the Institute on Taxation and Economic Policy, if all of Trump's so-called America First policies are enacted, including his tariffs, which he spoke a lot about tonight, the bottom 95% of Americans will see their taxes go up, while the richest 5% in our country will see their taxes go down.
Yeah, that sounds fair.
Tonight,
Jesus,
in so many words, Trump urged Congress to pass his big, beautiful budget. Do you know what's really in it? This budget would cut Medicaid by $880 billion. Oh, I guess Trump forgot to talk about that. $880 billion cut in Medicaid. According to one estimate, it means that up to 36 million Americans, including millions of children, would be thrown off the health insurance they have. Hey, a 90-minute speech tonight, not one word about throwing millions of kids off of the health insurance they have. When you cut Medicaid drastically, it means that nursing homes that receive 2/3 of their funding from Medicaid will either have to shut down, lay off workers, or significantly scale back the services they provide seniors. Yeah, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, this is something I've wanted to talk about on stream as well, is just how fucking devastating an $880 billion cut to Medicaid would be. It would literally put fucking entire hospitals out of business. It would mean that rural communities that rely on a regional hospital would need to drive extra hour or 2 or more just to fucking get care, or if they have an emergency or something like that. It would literally be fucking devastating. But a handful of like the richest fucking 0.5% of American fucking pieces of shit need their tax cuts, I guess.
That from Trump tonight either. It would be a devastating blow, these cuts to Medicaid, for the 32 million Americans who get their health care at community health centers. And it's not just Medicaid that Trump's budget would cut. It would also cut nutrition assistance by at least $230 billion. Now, I want you to think about that for a moment. And can you imagine the billionaire class, people who can support their families? Some of these guys have tens of billions of dollars, support their families for the next 10 generations, 50 generations. People who live in incredible opulence, people who own their own jet planes, they own their own private islands, they own their own spaceships, trying to get tax breaks by taking food out of the mouths of low-income kids. That truly is disgusting.
Yeah.
What we are seeing is the Robin Hood principle in reverse, taking from the poor and giving to the rich and the very, very rich. And here is something else Trump has been doing. For the past several weeks, he and his good friend Elon Musk, who was up there in the audience tonight, have been throwing hundreds of thousands of federal employees off their jobs. Now, I know some of you are saying, well, that's too bad, but that's the federal government, not me. It's not me, just those guys who work for the federal government. But I want you to think about this. Think about it for a moment. If Musk and his friends can
It's
arbitrarily
going to affect us
throw
too.
federal workers out on the street today, what do you think that Musk and his fellow billionaires will be doing tomorrow when artificial intelligence and robotics explode in this country? Do you think they'll give a damn about you and your families? No, they will treat you exactly the way they're treating federal employees today. You will be out on the street as well.
Yes.
But it's not only absurd domestic policies.
Yeah,
that we've got-
like what? Like if they had the ability to, if they had the power, why would they stop at the federal workforce? Why wouldn't they go after the workforces of private companies? They absolutely would if they could. You know, like if there's less regulations on monopolization and shit. You know, bigger conglomerates buy up smaller companies, increase your workforce, replace you. You know, on the long enough time scale, if these same people are in power for like 1 or 2 more decades time, what's stopping that from happening?
The fight. For the first time in our 250-year history, we have a president who is turning his back on democracy and aligning us with authoritarianism. No, we must not abandon the people of Ukraine who were invaded by the Russian dictator Vladimir Putin. We must always stand for democracy, not dictatorship. Let me be very clear. Regardless of where Trump is taking this country, here's what I think and what I believe the American people want us to do. They want us to end a corrupt campaign finance system. Well, golly gee, I didn't hear Mr. Trump talk about that tonight. A corrupt campaign finance system which allows a handful of billionaires to buy elections. It is beyond crazy that someone like Elon Musk can contribute over $270 million to help get Trump elected, and then he gets to run the government. It is absurd that any member of Congress who stands up to Netanyahu's brutal war in Gaza can expect to be opposed by millions.
Dude, I agree. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. God, that'd be like fucking fantastic. Instead of fucking just 1 or 2 decades of neo-tech feudalism where there's just like bigger and bigger conglomerates, like a cyberpunk dystopia, and just beholden to corporations rather than fucking corporations that you have no say in the direction of, no say on who gets on the board, no fucking elections or anything like that. Yet they have like with less regulations and less punishments for violating regulations and shit. Just more risk of monopolization. More power in the hands of the few.
Millions of dollars in campaign contributions coming from AIPAC. The American people want us to end this disastrous Citizens United Supreme Court decision and move to the public funding of elections. Democracy is supposed to be about one person, one vote, not billionaires buying the political candidates of their choice. And further, no, we should not be giving tax breaks to billionaires. That's not what we should be doing. We must demand that the wealthiest people in this country start paying their fair share of taxes.
Let's wrap it up, Bernie.
We must raise the federal minimum wage of $7.25 an hour to a living wage of at least $17 an hour. We must make it easier for workers to join trade unions, grow the union movement, and prevent corporations from violating labor laws with impunity by passing the PRO Act, legislation that I will be introducing tomorrow.
Good.
No, we are not going to cut Social Security. Quite the contrary. We must expand Social Security benefits and extend its solvency for the next 75 years by scrapping the cap that allows a billionaire to pay the same amount.
That's what I'm fucking saying. That's what I'm talking about, Bernie. That's my shit. Lift that cap. Make it no longer at risk of solvency. Forever. Fund it for fucking ever.
Amount into Social Security. No, we are not going to cut Social Security. Quite the contrary. We must expand Social Security benefits and extend its solvency for the next 75 years by scrapping the cap that allows a billionaire to pay the same amount into Social Security as a truck driver. Too many of our seniors are hurting today for us to be talking about cutting Social Security. Over 20% seniors in this country living on $15,000 a year or less. Further, instead of making massive cuts to Medicaid, we must join every other major country in guaranteeing health care to all of our people through a Medicare for All single-payer program. We must also take on the greed of the pharmaceutical industry, get them to charge us what they charge other countries, reducing prescription drug prices by 50%. And at a time of a terrible housing crisis in Vermont and in every area of our country, we must build at least 4 million units of low-income and affordable housing, stop corporate landlords from jacking up rent prices, and establish a cap on rent. In a competitive global economy, we need the best educated workforce in the world. All of our young people must have the ability.
Yes. Fucking like Biden wanted to do that. No higher than 5% increase per year. I mean, I prefer a little bit less than that, but God, if only, right?
Ability to get a higher education by making public colleges, trade schools, and universities tuition-free and canceling student debt. Yes, we can create millions of good paying jobs by combating climate change and moving our energy system away from fossil fuels and into sustainable energy. You know, I heard a lot of talk about freedom tonight from Mr. Trump. Well, in a free society, we must absolutely guarantee that it is the women of America who control their own bodies, not the local, state, or federal governments. Now, I know, because I've heard from many of you, that there are a lot of people out there who are feeling angry and frustrated at what's going on here in Washington, D.C. And some of you may feel a bit hopeless. So let me say this. At this particular moment,
we don't have those rent pricing. I don't think we have caps on increases of rent per year, though. Do we?
History. Despair is not an option. Giving up is not acceptable. And none of us have the privilege of hiding under the covers. The stakes are just too high. Let us never forget, real change only occurs when ordinary people stand up by the millions against oppression and injustice.
In California, the Tenant Protection Act limits rent increases to 10% or 5% plus the cost of living increase, whichever is lower, over a 12-month period. However, local rent control laws may restrict how much a landlord can increase rent. Cool. Okay. I like that.
And fight back. That is the history of the founding of our nation.
With the laws regarding tenants' rights, I mean, you're literally. I have. I've kind of had to before to do some shit I've dealt with before, being a renter. To do is 10%. Sounds good. Doesn't work. For who?
When brave men and women took on the mighty, invincible British Empire. It is the history of the abolitionist movement, the history of the labor movement, the history of the civil rights movement, the women's movement, the environmental movement, and the gay rights movement. Yes, I know. The oligarchs are enormously powerful. I deal with them every day. I know that. Yes, they have endless amounts of money. Yes, they control our economy, and they own much of the media. They have enormous influence over our political system. But from the bottom of my heart, I am convinced that they can be beaten. If we stand together and not let them divide us up by the color of our skin, or where we were born, or our religion, or the language we speak, or our sexual orientation. If we bring our people together around an agenda that works for the many and not just the few, there is nothing in the world that can stop us. We can win. We will win. Let us go forward together. Thank you all very much.
All right. God, he should have been president. He should have been the one in 2016. For renters to get non-renewed on their leases because of localized price shocks. Like price shocks to housing or rent. And don't most renters just do a month-to-month percentage of California renters on lease versus month-to-month? In California, 62.7% of leases are month-to-month. This is the highest proportion in the United States. Long-term leases are typically on year long, but can vary state by state. Month-to-month leases are short-term agreements that can be terminated by either the landlord or the tenant. Yeah, I mean, I'm on a month-to-month. That's, I mean, you'd have to. It's hard for landlords to kick out their renters in the first place. They need to not to mention they would definitely. First of all, a reason. But also, know this. Danny G, shut the hell up. No. You shut the hell up. So month to month is even easier to non-renew. I don't know how. How? I mean, I guess. Well, okay. How often do price shocks actually happen in any given area in California? When was the last one that happened? The pandemic? I mean, that happened everywhere. Yeah, no, I see what you mean now, but like, I'm just trying to assess like what exactly is the risk of just like the terminating of a lease because of a price shock in the area. Localize. Okay, so tax increases, new bonds. I mean, I guess so. I don't know. I think most landlords would rather just like bite the bullet and just like increase rent year over year than just kick out an entire tenant and then try to find a new one that'll pay the fucking exorbitant prices. They rather just keep that consistent income. I gotta go. Pick up my roommate, but I will be here next week. Depends on how good the tenant is. Then it's not. Then, like if you're a good tenant, then you don't have to worry about being thrown off your lease because of price shocks in the area. I mean, this is why landlords are scum and deserve the maltreatment. um. I'm half kidding. I gotta go. Thank you guys for joining in. I'll be back here on Tuesday the 11th, and I've been Stateless Patriot. Don't forget, you don't get change in America by asking nicely. You guys have a good night. Surprise shocks are so large. Something happens and you. I mean, how often does that actually happen? That was my thing. All right. I'll text you, Megan. Respond to me, damn it.